Hello everyone and welcome back to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship presented by Engine All Direct. This is the Pro Series. It's rounds 58 to 60 from the Spa-Francorchamps circuit, a historic one in Belgium. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. Alex, Spa, I know you love this track, we all do as well, and we're going to have over 50 cars racing tonight. It's going to be fantastic.
Can't wait to see this. It's going to be an absolutely amazing shot coming down that Kemmel Straight the first time. Yeah, like you say, over 50 cars. It's just going to be great. The officials have decided to run a couple of extra laps due to the chance of a safety car, and also we can have a rolling start as well, just to try and keep it as clean as possible at the start. It's all going to be important. Nowhere for any accidents to funnel as well, with the walls everywhere. So it's going to be an interesting start. Let's hope it's all clean and we can see an amazing shot of sort of 55 Kias just cruising down that Kemmel Straight.
Goodness me! I'll tell you what. I just have to quickly butt in, Adam, before you come in with tell us about the championship, because we did have our successful TV debut this week on Motors TV. Tuesday at 5:20 was the first one, and then it's been repeated again another 2 times. It's going to be on Friday at 1:40 as well, tomorrow, that is, for everyone watching live, that is, if they want to see the highlights from Laguna Seca again. And Adam, it's so much fun to be a part of that, and you'll be on next week, Mid-Ohio.
Yeah, Mid-Ohio was a very good race meeting, and I'm sure it's going to look great up on Motors TV, Sky Channel 447, Virgin Media 545, and Freeview I think is 71. So those are all your channel numbers for that. Let's run you through the championship standings then, going into this race meeting at Spa-Francorchamps. Wojciech Savidovic, as always, is atop the standings by 478 points over David Baker, who is now a new second place man in the championship, with Andreas Katz dropping down to third. I think Katz will be eager to get a win here to try and get that second place back. Fourth is Stelian Chepelevsky, with Simon Field in fifth. Alex Smolensky is in sixth, with Kip Stevens in seventh. Sebastian Job in eighth, and then tied for ninth, Pete Newman and Jamie Rushworth. So tight in the championship there, right at the bottom. In the Pro-Am standings, it's even closer, just with John Roberts and Paul Smith tied, 1 point between them, Engine Horse Direct and STEMSIM Racing. In the Teams Championship, however, Engine Horse Direct, 600 point lead over GT Omega, who have moved up into second place with only 1 win to their name, and that was Dan Hunt, with STEMSIM Racing in third position. Let's move over to qualifying then. Today at Spa-Francorchamps, Sebastian Job is at the top of the qualifying tree at the moment, with Wojciech Savidovic in second, less than a tenth between them. Andreas Katz in third, David Baker in fourth. Jamie Rushworth, who was quickest in practice, is in fifth, with Stelian Chepelevsky in sixth, Jamie Fluke in seventh, Alex Smolensky in eighth, Daniel Kraft in ninth, and Lee Thompson rounding up the top 10, Andrew.
Yeah, and it's going to be very tight, especially in that midfield part. There's a few drivers at the top, obviously very close together, but it's the sort of between 15th and sort of 35th, 40th. It's going to be really, really interesting. Alex, there's a few changes for this broadcast. We've got Chaz Draycott coming in to Leo Bodnar Motorsport. He's coming into there, and a few reserve drivers and a few visual changes to the car numbers as well.
Yeah, exactly. Just those drivers who are obviously running in the Pro or the Am, we can now identify those by their number boards, as well as the overlay system as well. It's always been there, but just in case anyone was wondering. So yeah, keep an eye out for the green number boards and the green stripes, and that's your Pro drivers. The gold stripes and barge boards or number boards, sorry, are your Pro Am, and the blue are for your privateers. Incident limit has been increased as well for this race meeting at Spa. It's usually 11, but
that has the race length as well. Yeah,
the organisers preempting any sort of collision at the start. The incident limit has been upped by 3 to 14, so we probably won't see as many disqualifications as we've seen possibly in previous rounds. Qualifying over, Andrew. So what does the grid look like for the first race of the evening?
Well, it looks very much as you described it, Adam. It's Sebastian Job on pole position, and then it's Wojciech Savidovic in second, with Andreas Katz third. On the second row, with David Baker in fourth, Jamie Rushworth fifth, then Stelian Chepelevsky in sixth, Jamie Fluke seventh, Smolensky in eighth, Dan Kraft in ninth, and Lee Thompson in 10th. Just to welcome a few privateers in as we're going to the grid very, very soon. we have got two-time iRacing.com Peak Anti-Free Series champion Ray Alfala from the oval side, along with his teammate Brian Blackford, who's also a top driver in that series. We've got a German privately entered team, that's what I'm trying to say. Max Scheider, Lucas Dolzer, and Dustin Hickman have joined us. They'll be running the yellow Deutsche Post liveries today, so welcome to them. Also, Nick McCarron is with us, Andrew Brown, Neil Bamber. Matt Walker's back as well, a veteran, Adam.
Yeah, Matt Walker used to race back in our season 7 and season 6, and I think yet to get his first win in the championship. Who knows, that could happen tonight, especially with the reverse grid. A few back of the grids and a few disciplinaries from the previous race meeting. Some big names, including Ashley Blake Hood and Simon Fields. They have not set a time in qualifying, and they will be starting in 43rd position. That's for Simon Fields, and 49th for Ashley Blake Hood. Other penalties for Andrew Whitehead. He'll be starting in 52nd place on the grid. 52nd. And Dan Hunt from 46th on the grid. So those poor guys, they'll be going through the bus stop chicane while Sebastian Job and Wojciech Savidovic are blasting it down to Eau Rouge.
Alex, those guys might as well be starting in another country.
Yeah, it's just crazy. I'm just looking at them lining up now beyond the pace car. What a great shot that is as well. Can't even see half the cars.
We've got
awesome.
we're going to have a rolling start as well, and that's to sort of touch on what Adam said about preempting an incident at the start, which I think is probably the right thing to do as with such a mammoth grid, and
especially what happened last time we came here as well.
Yeah, and especially
few random white cars out there as well, just for trading paints not playing. Well, not trading paints, but just delivery not picking up quite properly. Let me just see if I can give that a quick refresh before we start this race, because that seems a bit weird that we've got no paint whatsoever. So everybody just wonders why it just goes white for a second. Let's just try and sort them out.
Adam, Eau Rouge is going to be difficult as well, and I think that's why the rolling start is going to help, because the guys are going to get at least a couple of corners to. Well, they're not actually, are they? Because they're going to start on the
run down.
They're going to start on the run down to Eau Rouge, but they are going to be able to warm the tyres up slightly on this pace lap, and it will be important for them. It is quite a hot day out there. It's 23 degrees, 37 degrees track temperature, quite a decent wind coming from the southeast, 16 kilometres an hour. This is going to be just so good. Alex, if you had to bet on anyone, what do you think here? I'd say Baker. For some reason, Baker.
Baker's going to be quick. Svidovic always quick from the front as well. It could be, it really could be anyone.
Right then. The pace car is in. And the drivers are going to start after we come round La Source. The green flag is going to fly. They're just biding their time here, rightly so. Look at that sight. There's still people coming around the bus stop. Into La Source goes Sebastian Job. And as we run down the hill then, towards Eau Rouge, the green flag flies. At Spa-Francorchamps, 53 cars heading down towards the compression. And up the hill they go. Job leads from Savidovic. Katz in third, fourth Baker, fifth Rushworth. Then it's Chepolevsky, and then Jamie Fluke. Chepolevsky's made a mistake, he's dropping it down to ninth. He keeps dropping down the order, the Bulgarian. But it's Job that leads, and Savidovic already under pressure from Andreas Katz towards Lecum for the very first time. Savidovic late on the brakes. Can he overlap Andreas Katz? There's a tiny bit of contact there as the two of the top three in the championship getting very, very close and personal inside the first few corners. Baker follows through in fourth place, and Adam, that was a hectic start for the guys at the front.
Yeah, very tight as we headed through Eau Rouge. It looks like everyone's been able to make it through that first few corners without incident. Sebastian Job, of course, building a lead already, about 0.6 of a second over Wojciech Savidovic. Katz in third, Baker in fourth, Rushworth in fifth. So it's as you were really at the top as we work our way through the long left-hander at Pouhon.
A couple of cars were off at Lecum. Ray Alfala's got quite severe front damage. Kevin Noon, Matt Bunn, Charlie Sears already with battered Kia Optimus as we head through the Fagnes chicane, and Sebastian Job leading and trying to stretch his legs then. Alex, pretty good start considering.
Yeah,
Incidents.
yeah. I think we could have expected a lot worse. So to get all those cars through there in pretty much intact, even with just a little bit of damage here and there, is credit to all the drivers out there.
Adam is quite well behaved at the front, mostly single file, but it may change as they go into filter towards LeCun next time round.
Yeah, that's
that long Kemmel straight to slipstream their way past.
That's probably where we'll start to see the slipstreaming for the first time. Everyone really too close to really use that as an advantage. Sebastian Job just working his way away, but however Svidovic has got a little bit closer to him as they come over the line. That is the finish line right there. The start line was back at Eau Rouge. That is the finish line, so that's where we'll be taking all the times from. 0.3 of a second is the gap between Job and Svidovic as they came over the line. But Katz is right with the Season 6 champion as they come out of La Source. And now we're going to see how important it is to get a good line for Eau Rouge to set them up as we head down the Kemmel Straight down into Lecombe.
Yeah, Alex, it's massively important, isn't it, this Eau Rouge Radion part of the track, because it's the longest straight on the course.
Yeah, exactly. Almost when you're talking in the Formula 1 cars, longest straightaway section flat out for the whole calendar. So lots of slipstream available in these Kia Optimas, and we can see Svidovic getting a little closer, and there's some other drivers getting some slipstream further back as well.
Smolensky, he's already been overtaken by Chepolevsky. It looks like it's a slowdown for Steve Burke in the background. Remember, if you cut the course, if you exceed the track limits sufficiently, the simulation itself will give you a penalty which you must serve within an allotted time.
Yeah, who was that on the other side of the track as well that was just
Robert
bumping
Fagg.
along? That was Rob Fagg, yeah. So Rob was up in sort of 12th, 13th place at the start. We just saw a glimpse of
He's
him, but
down to 30th now.
yeah, slow down penalty for both drivers, and yeah, that's wow. That's normally you expect to lose like 5 or 6 places on a slowdown. They've just lost 15.
Steve Burke's just got past Julian Janowski at Rivage. Oh, Janowski comes back and he hits the Pete Newman media driver, and that was a bit silly from Janowski. A bit clumsy.
Yeah, they both managed to survive, and good recovery, but that pack behind them really has just lost the rest of the train that was ahead of them.
Janowski as well, he outbraked himself as well, and Robert Fagg is going to try and take advantage. Fagg trying to go around the outside in Fagnes, beautifully late on the brakes from the Team Carnage driver, Adam.
Yeah, very good moving. It's not often you see him move around the outside going into the Fagnes chicane. He just has enough room there. And now we're heading into the right-hander at Stavelot, and then the long run through Blanchemont. You probably have to possibly get a dab of brakes through that left-hander, and then it's down into the bus stop, the final chicane, where we'll probably see a lot of overtakes happening throughout these 3 races here tonight. Just looking to the left there, just see if
Steve Richardson's disappeared.
Yeah, he's just vanished there. So either a connection problem or an off track, and that's disqualified. I mean, I
hope he's not disqualified already.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, you never know. So it does look like something's gone off. Drivers that have made it back in the pits. Job just put the fastest lap of the race in, by the way. Let's just quickly jump up to the front while I have a look who has made a trip to the pits. Mark Johnston, Rail Fowler, Matt Bunn, Kevin Noon, Charles Sears, Andrew Whitehead, and Brian. Oh no, Brian doesn't appear to have done, but just seems to be at the back. So maybe he did. Yeah, not the best of days for the NASCAR lads out there, for sure. Here comes Wojciech again.
The day might just get a little bit worse for Sebastian Job actually now, as he's really having to defend on the Kemmel Straight from Savinovic and
here
from
comes
Katz. We're going to go 3 wide potentially into Lecombe, but Job decides he thinks better of it, and that's a mature decision and a very, very considered one as well, when you consider that the men in front of him in the race now, in front of him in the championship, but Job knows, Alex, that he needs to get those podium credits. He needs to finish in the top 3.
Yeah, we don't talk too much about the credits that are available for the podium, but we obviously have a showdown at the end of the season, and every podium you get gives you some points towards the start of that showdown. So podium position for Seb, you don't want to throw that away. They're 3 wide into Lecombe. Always ends in disaster. It's hard enough to go 2 wide through there sometimes. So just knew he was on the losing foot there with both drivers getting the slipstream, so he just concedes the position. Hopefully he can fight back later.
So Dave Baker, Adam, was just taken by Rushworth. The Rushworth up into fourth. Rushworth was fastest in the practice session, Adam, but then couldn't really get it together in qualifying.
Yeah, and he's a proven race winner in this racetrack as well. Has taken 2 wins when we were here in season 5 and when we were back here in season 6 as well. So he knows how to get it done around here. I expect him during this race to try and mix it up with the guys at the front of the pack, the likes of Katz and Savidovic. And we saw how entertaining it is heading down the Kemmel straight into Le Com. It's so easy to gain a place and to lose a place there as well as we head through Blanchemont.
So if anyone hears us talking about seasons, this is a year-long championship. Which is effectively season 9 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. The seasons used to be much shorter, and this is the first time we've really done one that spanned most of the calendar year. And it is a mammoth effort, Alex, isn't it? Nearly 100 rounds. As Graham Carroll just takes Pete Newman.
Yeah, sorry, that was extremely close at the front there as well. Katz tried to put a move there on Svivic, but didn't quite manage to get it. But they're quite fighty a little bit further back. Rushworth and Dave Baker as well.
2 by 2 now. Katz
and Joe as well.
Heading down towards Eau Rouge, Adam. It's going to be tight there.
Yeah, very tight. Usually it's like going to be like Webber and Alonso from a few seasons ago in Formula 1, but Sebastian Job just able to hold on to it in second position. But now let's see what kind of runs they can get as they head out down towards Les Com.
You can see all the cars, Alex. From some of the wide
sorry
shots.
Guys, 2 wide through Eau Rouge. Brostrom and Rob Graham, they make big time contact, managed to survive. They're going to get freight trained a little bit there though. I think, wow, there's a lot of cars streaming through there.
Kip Stevens has gone through, and so has Stanimir Zuzov. So Stevens up into 15th place and Zuzov into 16th, and then that's Brostrom 17th, 18th for Graham, 19th Jake Blackhall. Blackhall started 26th, he's already made his way through, and that's very tight with Robert Graham. Jake Blackhall for Apex Racing TV. And then you see the first of those Deutsche Post entries, Dustin Hickman battling with Robert Plumley, just in front of Laura Bond. And then it's Lucas Dozer just ahead of Steve Hefford actually as well. So, and then Paul Smith at the back of this group, who's very high up in the AM Championship.
Yeah, Paul Smith, only 1 point between him and John Roberts going into this race meeting. Where is John Roberts? In fact, John Roberts is sitting in 44th position. So with Paul Smith all the way up there in 25th, that's definitely going to mean that he is going to get that lead back in the Pro-Am standings.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at John there, but it's when somebody says somebody's down in 44th, I'm just not used to it, really. Alex, you're only used to, you can only count to 35.
That's it, yeah, 35, and I'm not interested. So, yeah, this is just crazy.
Speaking of which, we have a great battle for 48th place on the track. That's Matt Bunn, Kev Noon, Charles Sears. 48th place.
All 3 cars not showing the livery, unfortunately, which is a bit frustrating.
I think they're coming in and out, Alex, to be honest.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of issue with the paint files. There you go, one's dropped in, there goes another. So
there's so many cars that I think it just takes a while.
Yeah, the Sims are struggling a little bit with that today. So apologies for the viewers, but you know.
Back at the front then, Wojciech Savidovic leads by 0.6 of a second from Sebastian Job. It's now 0.7 over the endurance pitch straight, and he's definitely stretching away as the championship leader and season 6 champion. Sorry, apologies about that. Andreas Katz is in 3rd, then it's Jamie Rushworth 4th, and look at them weaving around Adam on the straight to try and disturb that slipstream and try and break free of the car behind.
Yeah, that's really the number 1 strategy for the drivers heading down the straight, because that's really where we're going to see most of the overtaking using the slipstream to go into Les Com and also probably down into the bus stop as well. So that's what they've really got to do to make sure that they can't let that driver past, and that's where we're going to see the exciting racing towards the end of the race.
Jamie Fluke's catching this pack as well. Alex, he's in 6th, followed by Daniel Kraft, and then it's Chepalevsky, who had a bad start, went down to about 10th place, but he's fought his way back up to 8th.
Yeah, I think he just put the move on Smolenski just a lap ago. I saw on the timing screen that they were very close. It seemed to have broke apart a little bit, and now seems to be lining up Kraft for a little move just ahead of him in the Pete Newman car there.
Jeroen Kaiser in 10th, not too far away from his homeland of Holland, and doing well in Belgium is Kaiser. So excellent for him. I mean, and he hasn't been hit off the track yet, which is a novelty for him.
Yeah, the night's young.
The night is indeed young. 10-lap race. We're only on lap 5. Kaiser's just behind Smolenski, and he's got Lee Thompson behind, the former World Championship driver in the Apex Racing TV car, who is he's quite well up in the standings as well. I believe he is 11th.
Yeah, he's trying to break into the top 10, isn't he, right now? So
it's very close.
Break back into the top 10 after he had his little vacation. So.
Yep, and definitely well-earned rest for him. Now then, there's going to be some lap traffic appearing for Wojciech Svidovic and Cones. Brian Blackford, the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze star, he's not had the best day. I think he was involved in some contact at the beginning of the race, so wouldn't surprise me if he's got a bit of damage on that Kia Optima, but he's soldiering on. And
let's see if Katz can get a run though through La Source. What was the lap times last time around? Sebastian Job 228.9. Katz fastest lap out of everyone on the last lap, 228.3. He looks to the inside just a little bit as we head for Eau Rouge. Is it the best strategy, Alex, to be right with him going for Eau Rouge, or do you need to try and get a run as we exit this corner right now?
Yeah, I think if you're a little bit further back, you can get a better run to actually get the slingshot pass down the Kemmel Straight. But with Sebastian getting the slipstream of Svidovic as well, I think you really want to be tucked up as close as possible.
Well, Katz is down the inside and he's through. So the season 3 and 8 champion is through into second place.
Because I suppose the danger, Alex, is if you're too close to Eau Rouge and you catch them at the wrong time, you can get blocked off through that little kink, can't you?
Sebastian having a little weave there, sorry, but yes, you're absolutely right there.
A little tiny bit of contact there, I think, between.
Just looking at the speeds there as well on the timing screen, and I think I was just sort of overhearing some conversations, and I think that Sebastian might be running a click of extra downforce compared to some of the guys out there as well. So he'll be quick in the midfield section, but he will be vulnerable down the straight, and we've seen both Svidovic and Katz get past him now. It
may help him with tyre wear though, Adam, as the Kia Optima obviously struggles with its front tyres as you'd expect it to do in these warm conditions.
Czepelewski, Basile, sorry Andrew, with Daniel Kraft. The front tyres in the Kia Optima, we've seen time and time again this season how it can affect drivers going into the latter stages of the race. Daniel Kraft then, battle for 7th position. He's just in front of Stelin Czepelewski in 8th. Let's see if Czepelewski can get a run through Stabilo and down towards Blanchimont. Stelin Czepelewski in the past has come close to winning the championship.
Oh, sorry guys, great battle going on between teammates there. Rob Plumley and Paul Smith hitting each other through the Fagnes chicane. And look at this gaggle here, in front and behind them, Alex. There's about 10 cars in front, 10 cars behind.
Yeah, amazing shot there. What do you do when you're in a pack like that? I mean, you just gotta, you just gotta try and work your way through slowly. Hope people make mistakes, really.
Simon Field with his back of the grid penalties up to 29th only.
Oh, so close to the reverse grid placing.
Not far away. It's about 4 seconds behind. Stephen Berg, yes, who's currently in 26th. Currently in 26th place.
Smith.
There's some contact ahead.
Contact to the bus stop.
Exetor's car, 22.
Rob Graham.
Yeah, off goes Rob Graham. It's all piling up now. Oh no!
Stephen Berg turned around.
Goodness me! What? It was a carambolage there.
Carnage then.
That was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
It was almost like back in Formula 1 a few seasons ago with De Resta and Maldonado. I think
it's not over yet, I can tell you.
There's more going on. Janowski having a lunge into La Source on the laser car. One of the Deutsche Post car side. But look at this pack! Look at this pack coming down towards Eau Rouge. They're all going to end up in a heat.
Laura Bond, Steve Hefford, Julian Janowski leading this pack.
Some people, thankfully, getting out of it. Oh, good run by Plumley on Neil Bamber.
And this is a great battle because it's really for the reverse grid placings. This is a battle for 23rd position on the racetrack, 2 by 2 as they head down the Kemmel Straight, Andrew.
Oh my goodness me, Janowski having to defend from Graham.
Bamber got a great run there. He's like running no wing whatsoever. Right on the brakes, just about gets the car stopped before he was
he's got some aero damage there. He's not going to be as quick in a straight line as he was.
It's the James Thompson effect. He's using zero wing, and that's allowing you to get past everyone down the straight as we head down towards Rivage.
And look who's there, Daniel Hunt. From 46th on the grid, he's now 25th. He's coming through in Rivage past Steve Hefford. Laura Bond looks like she's heading backwards slightly. Chaz Draycott there for Leo Bodner in his first race for the team. He must wonder what the hell's going on. Why did I get dropped into the middle of all this? And then Lucas Dolzer, likewise thinking, what the heck did I sign up for, Alex?
So much going on right now. I'm just looking at the live timing, and there's battles all over the place. Yeah, Lucas and Chaz still side by side, and behind them Lee Berridge and Ashley Blake Hood as well. Max Millers there.
Battle between Graham Carroll and Lee Thompson there, side by side, heading into the bus stop. And Thompson's going to try and go around the outside.
Yeah.
Is
Thompson
that going to work?
On the brakes.
Oh no! But Carroll goes back round the outside, and now they're going to be side by side down the front straight into La Source. Thompson will cut back into the slipstream.
They've got company as well, haven't they? Colin Cunniff and the lapped car of Blackford, and then it's Pete Newman. And up to the inside goes Colin Cunniff. And he's looking late on the brakes to try and get past the Apex Racing TV car of Thompson. But Thompson showing his experience to... We've got to give a shout out to Lee as well. He's one of the editors on the Motors TV programme as well. So Alex, he's done a hell of a lot of work, and it's good, also good to see him up there on the track.
Yeah, all credit to him. Wouldn't be able to do it without him. So him and Alex Marshall need some credit on air as well.
Yeah,
never happened with them. So yeah, big shout out to those guys. Carroll trying to pull away down this back straight.
Czepelewski's managed to get past Daniel Kraft as well, going into Les Combes, or it might be the other way around, but these two very close as well. GT Omega versus Pete Newman Media as we head down to Rivage. Daniel Kraft's having a little bit of a look down the inside, just not able to get anything done there. Czepelewski's still doing a good job. I think he's yet to take a win yet this season.
No, he hasn't. GT Omega just have that one, thanks to Daniel Hunt. Alex, I'm noticing that Andreas Katz is getting quite close to Savinovic now. And is the German saving his tyres a little bit better?
Yeah, possibly, maybe not quite as aggressive on the cambers. The tyres are just staying in a little bit longer. Who knows out there? But yeah, definitely looks a little bit stronger in the second half of this race. And the slipstream effect really does really restrict any chance that Svidovic has got to pull away. He's going to have to be extremely quick to do it. And if he's struggling a little bit out there, just can't see him breaking away. I expect Katz might try a little move maybe into Lacombe this lap.
And behind this top three, we've got Jamie Rushworth and David Baker battling in fourth position as well. David Baker right with the Season 4 champion as we head out of Stavelot. Let's see what he can do through Blanchimont. Let's see how they take this corner. Very demanding in all forms of motorsport. Into the left-hander. Is it a dab of brakes? Yeah, they both dab the brakes just a tiny little bit. Will they run out wide over the curbs? They both do. Let's see what David Baker can do into the bus stop. Rushworth doesn't move across, and David Baker doesn't really challenge there. But they'll have 2 laps to go when they get to the line.
These two are smart though, Adam. They know that they want to play the long game. They want to finish the races. There is the danger as actually Baker got a tremendous run out of the bus stop, and he actually may have a look into La Source, but sometimes, Alex, La Source isn't the best place to get a move done, because then, the drag up the hill, you're vulnerable.
Exactly that. Yeah, right at the moment they're just inside the slipstream of the cars ahead, and if Baker had gone for the move, he definitely would have broken the gap behind as well. So he wouldn't have been able to draft any of the cars ahead, and Jamie would have just come straight past.
Sorry, Rushworth getting very, very twitchy through Eau Rouge, and that's going to definitely allow Baker a run down towards Lacombe, you would think. But he's just not getting the slipstream there.
Katz side by side.
Katz having his first look then at Wojciech Savinovic. 2 laps to go here. So Katz going around the outside. That's a very brave move. And he's got the inside line, but Savinovic will have the inside line. They rub wheels.
Hitting each other.
Through the right-hander, Savinovic will have the inside line. Is he going to force Katz out wide? He does. And now here comes Sebastian Job. Whoa, he has to get on the brakes there. And Sebastian Job, that was hold your breath stuff, and it's still not over. Katz around the outside.
Yeah, he's still round the outside in Rivage, Adam, as this battle rages on into the corner with no name, down the hill. And Savinovic just carries the momentum through, and he maintains the lead in fine style, Alex. That was a great little battle.
Huge battle, that one. So important for the championship as well. That's all, the top 3 drivers you'd say in the series there.
I don't want to disrespect anyone, but I think these are the top 5 drivers in the series.
No, you're right. Yep. Yeah, and look at that little battle. All of a sudden, Rushworth was 1.1 seconds at the start of that lap behind. He's now 0.2. Make that 0.
Yeah,
because he's just kissing Seb there.
Poor
He's
Cats did
almost
not get a good
minus.
run through there, did he?
No, and Job had a fantastic run through the final chicane, Adam. He really set him up extremely well. And this has allowed Savinovic to scamper off a little bit. It's 0.83 seconds now. And it's just, how long's the slipstream effect here, Alex? What distance behind do you have to be for you to stop receiving any?
Yeah, they were getting it from about 1.3, 1.5 seconds that lap. So I think if you can break out to there, he'll be okay. But 7/10, he's going to get closed up down the main straight.
So coming round this time as we exit the bus stop, we're going to see the white flag. It's going to be 1 lap to go here at Spa-Francorchamps, round 58 of the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship with Engine Oils Direct. It's the Pro Series. It's the fight for $10,000. Remember, these guys, sim racers from all over the world, battling it out for huge cash prizes. And this definitely isn't a group of people sat on their armchairs with a controller in their hand, Alex.
No, quite the opposite. All sat in probably some sort of racing cockpit, 3 screens around them, some of them with the Oculus Rift virtual reality headsets. You know, wheels can range from as much as £100 up to several thousand, so huge variety of equipment. But yeah, all the drivers take it very, very seriously. Cat's trying to use that slipstream to catch up. Seb's not been able to get a run. That extra wing just hampering him a little bit there.
Savinovic won race 1 the last time we were here back in season 6.
I don't think the key is technical enough for Wicker, Alex.
Well, yeah,
at this point.
I
think they just bolt on a piece of plastic onto the back of it. Sorry, Adam, go on.
Well, credit to Katz. He's been able to use the slipstream down the Kemmel straight to close into Savinovic, and now he's within 0.5 of a second to try and do some damage through this, well, not literally, but through the final half of this race. Down towards Pouon. Sebastian Jobe has just got a little bit of an advantage over Jamie Rushworth as well, so let's see what Katz can do. He might have saved his tyres here as he head through the long left-hander at Pouon. 0.4 of this lap remaining. What were the lap times? Savinovic was 0.3 of a second quicker than Katz last time around, but I'm sure Katz is lapping the quicker at the moment.
It's been a strange old race, Adam, hasn't it? Because sometimes it's looked like Savinovic is going to pull away and never see this lot again. And then soon he just gets reeled in within a couple of corners. It's very much ebb and flow at the front of this field, and with just a couple of corners to go as they go through curve of Paul Frere. It's Wojciech Savinovic who's home free, it seems. Not completely over. He has to negotiate the bus stop, and he has to hit his braking point and not make a mistake. Alex, so easy to do here.
Yeah, this is going to be so important, this final corner. Blanchimont not easy as well. Seb's getting closer to Katz. Will he be able to make a move into that bus stop? I don't know.
He might have a try. These two do not get on very well with each other. Sebastian Jobe on the inside, he nearly hits Savinovic, and he's going to go off the course.
Oh, he hits him!
Katz yet again, and Savinovic is going to take the win. Jobe and Katz hitting each other over the line. Rushworth's coming as well. Is he going to get the position on the line? And it's Savinovic for Katz. Jobe, Baker managed to sneak into P4 with Rushworth in 5th. And that was such an exciting finish. I don't think any of us saw that coming, Alex.
And it's still going on out there. So many battles there as well. I'm just looking at Jake and Kip as well. They're just 0.2 of a second separating themselves in the last corner. There's a battle in front of them. That's Brostrom and I'm not sure who else that is there. But yeah, everybody just funneling through right now as well.
Battle for 22nd place between Paul Smith and Daniel Hunt out of the bus stop chicane, and Paul Smith will just hold on and get 22nd place with Daniel Hunt in 23rd.
The battle for 32nd is heating up as well. Steve Burke on into the final corner up the inside is Dan Blake of Chaz Draycott. Draycott's gone wide, he's going to suffer now, and the hands are back Scheider. But it's Steve Walker who's going to come across. Is he going to beat Draycott to the line? That was very, very close indeed. And
yeah, Draycott 35th.
It was Draycott just by 1/10 of a second. Scheider in 37th, Von Glan 38th, and Nick McCarron, Jay Wright, Ashley Blake Hood. They're still battling.
Yeah, battle for 44th.
Charles Sears and Matt Bunn for 45th and 46th, Alex.
Let's watch these to the line.
There'll be something going on here. There'll be a move.
Gotta happen.
Oh, he's in the right best of Blanchimont there as Bunn and Sears is going to come through here for friction.
Down the inside into the bus stop. Sears on the inside. Oh no, right, he's going around the outside, and he's got it done. So Charlie Sears.
Bun with the cutback. Oh! The back of Charles Sears. And what a finish that was for 45th place. My goodness me. This is fantastic.
It was almost like
it
was like a soccer Saturday atmosphere there. Let's head down to the battle between 45th and 46th. Well, Andrew Whitehead, he's in 47th place. He's just coming round to take his 47th position after starting from the pit lane, as Andreas Katz is coming round to return to the pits after the race. So Andrew Whitehead through the final corner, he will get the checkered flag, and I think he is the last car on the lead lap as he comes across the line.
Yeah,
wow, what a race.
He had a back of the grid, Alex, and unfortunately got caught up in something else later on, but goodness gracious me.
Well, I don't know. I think for the sake of Motors TV, I don't think we're going to have time to run you through the classified results, all 53 of them. We'll run you through the top 30 or so. Those are the cars that are eligible for the reverse grid. Wojciech Savidovic takes his 11th win of the season, with Andreas Katz in second, Sebastian Job in third after trying to get second place in the final corner, David Baker in fourth, Jamie Rushworth in fifth, Jamie Fluke in sixth, Stelian Chepelewski in seventh, Daniel Kraft in eighth, Alex Malensky in ninth, and Jerome Kaiser in 10th. 11th.
Sorry, can I just quickly stop you there, Adam? On the chat, sure. Dave Baker was so happy he wasn't sixth, Alex.
Yeah.
He was so pleased with his fourth place.
Yeah.
That God bless him there. But but yes, the top 10. Jeroen Kaiser in the top 10. Very happy to see that. He's one of the league organisers as well. Sorry, Adam. Carry on. Yeah. I just wanted to point that out. It was so great.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's carry on. Graham Carroll in 11th, Lee Thompson in 12th. I think those two have had a battle the entire race. Colin Cunniff in 13th, Pete Newman in 14th, and then the cars eligible for the reverse grid in race 2. Linus Bostrom in 15th, Rob Fagg 16th, 17th, Kip Stevens, 18th, Jake Blackhall, 19th, Rusty Laidler, 20th, Stanimir Zuzov, 21st, Dustin Hickman, 22nd, Simon Field, after starting 43rd, 23rd, Paul Smith, Daniel Hunt, 24th from 46th, Robert Plumley 25th, Robert Graham in 26th, Matt Walker 27th, Lucas Dolzer in 28th, Andrew Brown in 29th, and then in 30th it's Julian Janowski. And in the cars there were one or more laps down, Brian Blackford in 48th, Neil Bamber 49th, Lee Berridge in 50th, Steve Hefford 51st, Kevin Noon 52nd, and Steve Richardson I don't think took the start.
No, he did. He got disconnected fairly early.
Yeah,
he got disconnected fairly early on, Adam. So Richardson was in there, but he fortunately left to start from the back for race 2. Alex, what do you make of that then? Spa, it was a good race, most certainly, but the finish was just fantastic.
What a great finish, actually. Great battling all round. I mean, for the most part, I didn't see any dubious moves or anything like that in that race. Normally there's some sort of bumping and banging and whatnot. It's great to see. Let's hope we see exactly the same in the second race, because just what an exhibition those guys have just put on for us out there.
The desperation, Adam, and Sebastian Job there in the final corner to try and get past Katz. He nearly wiped out Savidovic, didn't he? Alex, I don't know if you can have a look at that actually while Adam goes through it, I guess.
Well, yeah, Sebastian Job. The poor guy started on pole position, and I think he was trying to get some consolation from this race and lunging down the inside of Katz into the final corner. It looked like a viable move, but there was just, unfortunately, not enough track in the bus stop chicane for him to get that move done. But the top 5, battling with 2 laps to go, side by side, Andreas Katz and Savidovic, through Les Combes, through Rivage, through turn 7, and almost side by side into Pouhon as well. That sequence of corners on the penultimate lap, one of the highlights of the season as well, with Rushworth and Baker battling with them as well. Let's have a look then at the final lap of the race.
Just trying to get it up on the screen now.
I was just going to say, boys, if you look at Wojciech as he turns into the corner, you can see he turns into the corner normally and then completely messes himself when he looks in his mirror and sees an Apex car flying towards him. Yeah, and he takes immediately to go to the outside line to avoid being hit. And
if you look at it from his gearbox camera,
give us a sec, gents. Sorry, I've got just the admins obviously want us to do the
reverse
the Wheel of Fortune. So let's do that, and then we will. We'll review that replay straight after that.
No fun at all.
So Plumley, Graham, Walker, Dolce, Brown, Janowski, Robert. Sorry, I'm looking at completely the wrong. Yeah, I am looking at the right positions. So 15th, sorry, Bostrom, Fag, Stevens, Blackhall, Layla, Zuzov, Hickman, Field, Smith, Hunt, Plumley, and Graham. Those are the cars eligible for the reverse grid, Alex.
Who's going to get it? Let's see. Just the one spin.
I didn't bring any music this week.
Going to be...
Oh, here we go.
Oh, it's a fairly straightforward 25th, I think. Is it going to get... Oh, it could go. No, it's not. 25th. Oh, look at how close that is. Whoever was 17th will be absolutely shouting at the screen right now.
It was Kip Stevens. So
and that shows you right there that this league is not this Wheel of Fortune is not a conspiracy if the race organisers don't end up on pole position. So that will put actually 25th Robert Plumley onto pole position with Dan Hunt on second place on the grid after starting from 46th. Paul Smith in third, Simon Field in fourth, and Dustin Hickman in fifth. So we've got two big names there in Daniel Hunt and Simon Field, Andrew.
Yes, indeed, and they're very, very high up. And Paul Smith as well, who's leading the AM category, and Robert Plumley he's definitely leading the AM category now because he's defeated John Roberts in this race. So
just having a look at this replay. It actually kicked in on its own. I guess the server must have ended, so it just went play. But yes, just having a little late look at the inside there. You're right, he was close, but
Svidovic's gearbox.
There was enough room from Svidovic, and then of course he had to turn into the left there, but Katz just chopped his nose off. Wasn't having any of it, and manages to hold on to second, and Seb actually just by the skin of his teeth got third from Baker.
It was very fair between those two in the end. It was good in the first part of the chicane at least, but. And I guess, Alex, that's where triple screens probably helps Andreas Katz. I believe he does run them.
Yeah, we know Seb's only on a single monitor as well.
He would have been able to see Job coming, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
And the thing I think for Job is the fact that he had to rejoin in that position. Unfortunately, he couldn't have gone through the inside of that curve, otherwise he would have picked up a slowdown, and not very much room to take that slowdown before the start-finish line. So that contact with Katz is sadly inevitable there.
Yeah, Rushworth tried to get past Job at the end, but he found his path blocked, and that's how he had to actually hit the brakes, and that's how Baker snuck in for P4 there. So Dave will be very happy with that. I think started fourth, finished fourth. Let's see who the biggest mover was through the field. I've got a feeling it was Simon Field. No, Simon Field 21 places, Dan Hunt 22 places. John Roberts actually went up 20 places from his 51st on the grid. Good grief. First on the grid. And I can't even imagine starting 51st, Adam, in the race.
No, there's so much work to do during that race. And Simon Field, the fact that he managed to overtake 21 cars and Daniel Hunt 22 cars in the 10 laps that we get given is quite an achievement. Great job from them. And for Daniel Hunt and Simon Field, their work plays dividends really with the reverse grid working in their favour, so they'll be right at the front this time when they go down to the green flag.
Yeah, and that's about the best you can hope for, isn't it, Alex, when you get a back of the grid penalties to fight your way up to the reverse grid, and all credit to them, because this was one of the harder races to fight your way up through.
Yeah, I think they're all kicking themselves actually when they saw the entry list and thought, oh, what? It's not just a 40-car grid. There's an extra 15 cars out there they're going to have to try and navigate around. But yeah, some of the drivers did a great job, and those that were just outside the top 25, you expect them to be in there for the next round for sure.
That's how fantastic the BSRTC Pro Series is. 15 cars is a whole grid for some series, and we have 53 here in Belgium tonight. Thanks very much for joining us for the first race, and don't go anywhere, because after this break we will see race 2 from Spa-Francorchamps. Don't go anywhere.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series, and since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
in the outside, contact made, 56 slides it into 4, who's gonna be into stripe, dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the BSR Touring Car Pro Series here on Motors TV and live on YouTube as well. I'm Andrew Woodhouse alongside Adam Bath and Alex Simpson. Race 2 here at Spa. We had a cracking finish to race 1, and Adam, this one should be great, and we have a very interesting top 10 as well.
Yeah, once again, 53 cars will be taking to the track. Let's run you through the starting lineup then for the second race of the evening. 25 cars reversed. That means Robert Plumley is on pole position with Daniel Hunt alongside him, with Paul Smith in third, Simon Fields in fourth. Daniel Hunt and Simon Fields both working their way up from the 40th places on the grid. Then in fifth place it is Dustin Hickman with Stenimir Zuzov in sixth. Russell Layla in seventh with Jake Blackhall in eighth. So Kip Stevens is in ninth with Robert Fagg in 10th, 11th Linus Bostrom, 12th Pete Newman, 13th Colin Cunniff, Lee Thompson 14th, Graham Carroll 15th, Sharon Kaiser in 16th, 17th Alex Smolensky, 18th Daniel Kraft, and then rounding out the top 20 it's Delian Chepelevsky and Jamie Fluke.
Thanks very much, Adam. Alex, hello again, mate. What are you expecting from this one then? Because the first race was really good. We usually have a bit of chaos in race 2, don't we?
Yeah, and just looking at the temperature that was up on screen, it looks a little bit cooler as well, so tyres might be a little bit greasy on the rear. The rolling start, of course, will help that a little bit, but those tyres that were wearing out perhaps a little bit during that race should be less of a factor as well, so we could see some really, really hard battling going on for the whole race this time.
Yeah, just
not that it wasn't anyway.
No, it was indeed. I mean, we had 48th and 49th fighting against each other, didn't we, at the end, but... the reason for the rolling start is because the Kia is quite tricky on cold tyres. We don't want a big pile up through Eau Rouge, which is one of the, especially in the high-speed corners, the case struggles on lap 1. So just a bit of caution exercised by the race organisers. And Adam, what can we expect here with Robert Plumley on pole position? He's alongside his teammate. Well, Paul Smith's not far behind him, actually.
Well, if we saw the slipstreaming be a huge benefit at Watkins Glen, I think it's going to be even more important here. And that means we're going to see the packs not breaking up as quickly as we've seen in previous race meetings, and with the reverse grid jumbling up the pack as it always does, it's just going to be so much better than race 1, I think. We've got the likes of Chepelevsky, Rushworth, Job and Savidovic down in the 23rd, 24th and 25th placings on the grid. They're going to have to work their way up right from the middle of the pack. They've got nowhere to hide going into Eau Rouge. And then you've got the guys at the front, the likes of Daniel Hunt. He's already took a race win this season. Russell Laidler as well. Kip Stevens in 7th. Those guys all
Jake
good.
Blackhall.
Jake Blackhall as well, yeah, took a race victory for Apex Racing TV at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. So many drivers that are capable of taking race wins at the front of the pack and in the midfield as well. So they're going to be moving their way through the pack, and those guys are going to be battling it out at the front as well. And who knows, maybe in the final few laps they could all be joined right at the front for an epic final showdown.
There'll be a race winner starting from the very back as well. Steve Walker has got a back of the grid penalty for this one. Alex, something tells me that maybe the most unsafe thing about this race could be the fact that Sebastian Job and Andreas Katz are starting next to each other.
Yeah, they seem to be rubbing bodywork no matter where they are on the grids this season, especially the last 4 or 5 races. So yeah, let's see how this one goes.
Have they decided to go now? Has Plumley decided to
really
to hit it? It's good to cause
no
some trouble
overtaking,
as some guys near the back. Yeah, they are overtaking as well, and they'll get black flags potentially if they do make passes before the green flag, and it flies now.
Well, Daniel Hunt's already up into second. Yeah, as we head through Eau Rouge, it's those two breaking away already through Eau Rouge. This could be what Daniel Hunt wanted. Through Eau Rouge, he gets a fantastic run. Let's see what Robert Plumley can do. Is he going to put up a defence already on lap number 1 as we head down to Les Combes? He's on the outside. He's not moving over yet. Daniel Hunt looking to the inside in the background. Russell Laidler trying to get past Jake Blackhall as well.
Rob Fag again with the slowdown.
Daniel Hunt takes the lead into Les Combes, but will Plumley try and hang it out around the outside? He does.
He will.
Fantastic job from Plumley. He nudges Hunt wide, a bit like Savidovic and Katz in race 1. Plumley still going around the outside as we head down to Rivage, Andrew.
Round the outside of Malmedy, and that's very, very difficult to do. Into Rivage, Plumley very late on the brakes. He's experienced now in this series, and a brilliant move from Plumley, Alex. Excellent.
Yeah, great move to hold that round there.
He must have thought his lead was gone. And he makes a great pass there. Is everyone through okay at the back? We just need to see Steve Richardson. Yes, he's going okay. Berridge hitting Steve Walker as Walker's trying to come through. Kev Noon, Laura Ball and Brian Blackford. Yep, everyone seems to be okay.
Katz Laidler, out of control. He got hit by Blackhall going through the Fania chicane, and now he's under pressure from Pete Newman as Simon Field is off in the background into the gravel.
Oh, he's back on field, just ahead of Jamie Fluke. He's got your own Kaiser somewhere near him as well. He's down to about 14th place. It's 15th. It could be 16th for Simon Field now.
I remember last time we were here back in season 6, Andrew, a quote that really sticks with me. Simon Field involved in a huge incident. I think Field ended up in the field, was something he said the last
something
time we
like
were here.
that. I mean, that's where he ended up. He doesn't want to end up there again. Thompson, Jake Blackhall. No, it's not. Thompson.
Almost did a Luciano Berti on it from a few years ago in Formula 1, and
he just hit off the track there.
Big incident. Let's see what happened. Quarter panels by Kip Stevens.
And was it Broström as well that was there? Did Broström get a touch on him? Alex, I don't know if you've got...
Just looking at it now.
No, he didn't. There's no one in him.
Side by side, going through through Blanchimont. Both drivers turn in. Just a little tag on the rear there, and that's just the front wheel drive. Getting turned on the rear there. Just got to be so careful when you go side by side there. And unfortunately, Lee was. What's going on up front?
Battle for the lead, yeah.
Here comes Daniel Hunt then. He looks to the inside. I don't think he's having a look. He's having a look. He's down the inside.
Didn't work last time.
It looks... Oh no, Plumley's going to hang it around the outside again. But I think Hunter's got a bit more of an overlap this time around. They both the wheels again.
It's the same thing again. It's a carbon copy. Plumley's trying to hang around the outside. Hunt's thinking, not this time, fella. As he has to come to the inside now to defend into Rivage hairpin.
Whoa!
And Plumley very late on the brakes. They hit each other. Robert Plumley putting up a wonderful defence of his lead, and which is now over.
Well, Dustin Hickman is a newcomer to the championship, and he can't believe what's going on in front of him here. He's now going to be right on the back of Robert Plumley as we head into Pouhon for the second time. Daniel Hunt to the lead, though.
Hickman in the Deutsche Post entry. Alex, that was impressive from Robert Plumley, wasn't it? Hanging on for so long.
Yeah, he doesn't want to give this up either as well. It's hard to tell between him and Dustin right now as they're both showing us white on the screen, but Rob's still in second place, Dustin in third.
Rusty Laidler coming under pressure from Jake Blackall for Apex Racing TV. Blackall wasn't the one who came a cropper at Blanchimont, but he's now chasing after Laidler in the GT Omega car.
And we've got Engine All Direct battling with Friction. That is Graham Carroll fighting away with Linus Bostrom as they head through Blanchimont. This is the battle for 6th and 7th on the 7th and 8th, sorry, on the racetrack. Carroll just looks to the inside a bit there through Blanchimont, but let's see if we can get a run into the bus stop, Andrew.
Yeah, it looks like he can, and the Scotsman is going to the outside, which will become the inside for the second part of the chicane if he can keep it. Oh, low engine for Blackall.
And that's his race over.
Is out of the running, and he's not going to make it back to his pit lane, Alex.
No chance, not from there. Won't be long to get it towed back, mind you. So he should be back out on the lead lap.
What's
Hump
pit
puts the
lane?
fastest
He's still
lap.
in the box. Let's look at this stuff behind it. Kaiser and Chepilevsky and Job and Svidovic and Katz. They're all together now.
Whoa.
And they're all nearly hitting each other. Off goes Job.
Oh, there's something going
there's
on.
a crash behind.
Yep.
And that was there's a blue car in the walls.
3 wide, heading into Eau Rouge. Kaiser, Joe, and who's that on the right-hand side? Is that Katz as well? They all sort each other out. It's now Kaiser leading them through with Joe in 17th position and Katz in 18th, with Savidovic chasing him behind as they head down towards Lake Cobb.
Yeah, it was Andrew Brown who was in a bit of trouble. And look at this in front of them as well with Kraft, Newman, and
Baker.
Stevens, Cunniff side by side with Field. And there's Dave Baker, as you said, season 7 champion. Oh goodness me, Field getting very close to the back of the friction car of Colin Cunniff, and Baker looking into Rivage, but he's not quite there.
Got a great drive there through Rivage and nearly managed to get past all, but Field lunges it back down the inside. A fantastic opportunistic move, but he's going to run wide on the exit. And who's that in the number 49 car? That is Jamie Fluke trying to get in the action as well. Baker down the inside into Pouhon. Can Field hanging out around the outside this time?
You haven't really got a chance in the middle part of Pouhon to keep it. Simon Field gets out-muscled by Dave Baker. Baker up into 12th position. And then look at this scrap, Alex, then, involving the championship contenders, Savidovic, Joe, Rochworth, and then it's Smolensky with, who's that number? I've got a white car there, it's
Robert
Zuzov, I
Fag
believe.
It's Fag, I think.
Oh, it's Fag, sorry, it is Fag.
Yeah, side by side through Stavilo, and Fag is just able to cut across in front of Smolensky. Up at the front as well, Russell Laidler has managed to get past Paul Smith. He's into 4th position on the racetrack, and Smith is under pressure now from Graham Carroll as they head through into the bus stop chicane. Smith holding his inside line. Can Carroll try and get that outside move done like he did a lap ago? He just swoops past the Simpson racing car, and now Graham Carroll is inside the top 5.
By the way, Alex Plumley is extremely close still to Dan Hunt. He has not let this go, as you mentioned, as you thought he wouldn't.
No, I don't think there's just no chance. Hunt puts the fastest lap in once again, so he's definitely quick out there. Yeah, Plumley just sticking with half a second behind, 1/10 slower that lap. He's going to have to use the slipstream down this Kemmel Straight through Eau Rouge. Make sure that he can just claw that back, and he already has gained 2/10 of a second.
Paul Smith down to 6th. He's behind Graham Carroll and Russell Adler now. Andres Katz ahead of Jeroen Kaiser into 15th place.
Robert Plumley could be just playing a waiting game. We've still just got 6 laps to go in this race. Haven't even got to the halfway mark yet.
Look at this in the middle of the pack. Adam, Stephen, Kraft, Stevens, Newman, Cunniff side by side with Baker.
Cunniff and Baker have been battling the last few laps, still side by side. But he turns him around. He's going to be facing the pack. And who was the Power Max guy here? He hit Jamie Fluke. And Savinovic has to take evasive action as well. Savinovic managed to rejoin in front of Kaiser with very little damage. I don't think he hit anything really, but he's rejoined in 15th place. And Jamie Fluke bearing the brunt of that incident between Cunniff and Baker.
Savinovic actually has some left front damage there as well. We'll see how that affects him. He's got Kaiser behind him, but yeah, he's certainly got some damage from it.
He's got some slight damage to the rear wing as well. I don't know if he slightly clipped the wall as Kaiser now defending from Job as Job pushes the Dutchman wide in Pouon. But Kaiser's trying to stay on the inside into the finish again. He just hits him.
And Rushworth gets through just.
That was very interesting, that one.
I think, to be fair, going through Pouon, Sebastian Job was roughing Kaiser up a bit.
Yeah, he was. And that's the thing, is that you can't really do that constantly, intimidating another car. And Hunt and Plumley have now broken away. Dustin Hickman, a very impressive third. Alex, what do you make of his performance?
Yeah, great performance. I'm just gutted for Dustin that I haven't been able to show his livery all for the last 2 races. For whatever reason, he's just not showing up at all, which is, yeah, sorry about that, Dustin, but what a great job that he's doing out there. He looks quite comfortable in 3rd place. I mean, he has got Graham Carroll closing on him. We know how quick Carroll is, and he's just outside the slipstream zone now, though, Dustin, so might be a little bit vulnerable this time. He's got Laidler tucked up behind Carroll as well, and Smith not too far behind him.
And then behind Smith is Linus Broström, Adam, who's been racing in this series for quite a long time now.
Yeah, Linus Broström, part of the...
3 wide in turn 1. Sorry, guys, I've just flipped the screen over.
Sebastian Job, Alex Malensky, is it? I don't know. Yeah, I think it might be.
Yeah, and Zuzov were in there. They've managed to get through it, no problems. But yeah, just caught a little glimpse of it.
Smolensky's going backwards, which is a very rare thing to see. He's down to 20th place now, and he may be under threat from the fellow Bulgarian Zuzov.
Yes, Zuzov all over the place there, going through Radion and up to Common, just in the foreground there, side by side between Jamie Rushworth and number 28. That is Rob Fagg. Rob Fagg, a winner at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago, and Rushworth.
Zuzov around the outside of Smolensky as well, Adam.
Yeah, 2 great battles unfolding here, and Kaiser battling with Sebastian Job. These 2 made contact a lap ago. Will there be repaying the favour? Kaiser sensibly gets out of the way and allows Sebastian Job through.
Yeah, and it's probably a good thing that happened. As Zuzov still round the outside of Smolensky through Rivage. Can he get up the inside into the corner with no name? No, he can't. Alex Stanomir Zuzov, we know he's a good driver. He's had a terrible part of the mid-season. He just doesn't seem to have done anything. But this is good to see him up here at the Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, start of the season, he was the safest driver as far as the sort of the clean award goes as well. Remember, there's prize money for the cleanest driver in the championship as well. And he was there, but like you say, he's just had a bit of a mare in the middle, and hopefully maybe this will be kickstart his season. I mean, still down in 21st place, but it's only 17 seconds behind the leader at this point, so could still pick up a few places.
Well, he hasn't just... It's almost like, Adam, he's just not even be able to get any good reverse grids either or anything like that, really.
Is Alex Malensky?
No, Zuzov, sorry.
Yeah, Zuzov, yeah. I think I remember him having a good position at Twin Rim Motegi a few months ago. But ever since then, I haven't really seen him up at the front. And 21st position, that's right in the usual positions we see the reverse grid happening. So hopefully if he stays in that position, doesn't get involved in too much contact, so he could have a respectable 3rd and final race of the evening. A man on the move at the moment, though, is Andreas Katz. He's up into 14th position. And at the same time, Rob Fagg and Sebastian Job are battling. They're changing positions left, right, every few seconds or so. And there's a bit of contact at the exit of the bus stop. They're closing in on Jamie Rushworth in front of them. And Job looking down the inside. And Fagg closes the door right in his face there. Take that, Sebastian Job, on the exit of La Source. And as they head down to Eau Rouge, Job could be under pressure once again from Jeroen Kaiser.
Just a note about Ray Alfala. He started 43rd, and then he ended up. He was running really, really well, but he's had a bad couple of laps. Finds himself down now in 42nd place behind Steve Hefford. So I don't know what's happened to. Oh goodness me, he's hitting Hefford through La Source. Don't know what's happened to the NASCAR peak antifreeze champion, Alex, but he's had a bit of a nightmare there.
Yeah, no, just looking at the lap time, 2 minute 50 that last time by. So yeah,
Doesn't look to have
definitely
any damage or anything.
yeah, definitely some problems out there.
His teammates having a much better race. So he started 48, he's now 36. Brian Blackford, and he's battling with. He's just behind the Carnage car of Lee Berridge, Adam.
Yeah, Lee Berridge currently sitting in 35th position on the racetrack at the moment. Cars battling all the way through the racetrack here. Brian Blackford, yeah, in 36th position with Steve Richardson behind. Steve Richardson had a disconnection early on in race 1. He's still in 37th position, working their way through Rivage. Very close there between Blackford and Berridge as they head from left-hander. Blackford gets a bit sideways and Berridge goes off as well, so this just allows them to close up even more, and Richardson looking down the inside as they head into Pouhon.
Yeah, Blackford, I think he thought about having a look into Pouhon, but he may be able to get a good run out of there and into the Fanias chicane. We've seen some moves done there. Today he's always very close to hitting Berridge, and is he going to have a look into the chicane? Blackford knows he needs to get a move on. Doesn't do anything as of yet, but Berridge goes a tiny bit wide. Look, it's a great scrap this, Alex, and the man at the front of the field is 35th.
Yeah, just crazy really. So, but yeah, just looking, Andrew Whitehead's closing in on Robert Graham just behind them as well. Nick McCarron's not too far behind, so yeah, good little battle, but then 2.8 seconds back Steve Hefford, so I think Steve, if he carries on, will close that gap up as well.
Good battle between Kip Stevens and David Baker going into La Source. Those two are side by side as they head on the exit. Stevens in the Paramax car, of course, took a race victory at Laguna Seca the last time we were on Motors TV Tuesday 5:20 Mid-Ohio as well. Make sure you tune in for that as Stevens and Baker go side by side, and the move is done. So StemSim Racing driver David Baker, season 7 champion, up into 9th position.
Oh, it's car in the wall.
Yeah, someone's in the wall. Not
Steve
sure who
Walker,
that is.
I think.
Could be Lucas.
Steve Walker, yeah.
Steve Walker, it is in the wall.
He's on the X. Is he on? It happens.
Exit of Eau Rouge.
Don't know what happens. He slows down.
Oh, he's just come out of the pits.
He slows down and then he turns the car or tries to park it. I don't know.
Oh, we won't worry about replaying that one.
Well, no, we won't. No.
Yeah, he parks the car and then the iRacing system kindly flips him over and sticks him in the wall.
We just assumed that he was crashing, unfortunately. Sorry, Steve. But whatever it is, it's not good for Steve Walker. So Dustin Hickman has now been taken, actually, by Graham Carroll and Russell Laidler. So Laidler up to 4th, Carroll up to 3rd, and Hickman down into 5th place.
Yeah, Hickman still inside the top 5 though, so good job from him. Katz is up to 11th place. 12th place, sorry.
Smith's gone off at Pouhon. Sorry, Alex.
Yeah, no, just about to say exactly the same thing. Brostrom around the outside in the engine oil direct car. It's going to have the high line here. Yeah, straight through. That's good. Managed to hold it around the outside there. He always had the advantage on the left-hander there. Great driving there from Brostrom.
Yep.
Yeah, as we were saying a few moments ago before we had all these battles, Brostrom part of the winning team in Season 4, Movie Go Racing, and he hasn't been in the championship really since Season 6 when he raced for Lugnut, so good to see him back in the championship and inside the top 10, and if he just gets past Hickman, he could be into the top 5, but Hickman though is fighting back. He's fighting with Russell Laner as they head through Blanchemont.
Yeah, he's almost within reach of a move, but we've got a battle between Kip Stevens and Andreas Katz, which might take the precedent over that. Field is there as well.
Yeah,
and we've almost got 3-wide into the braking area for the bus stop. We have indeed. Field trying to go around the outside. I wonder if he's trying to get a pull pass done on Andreas Katz. But Katz gets a great cutback on Stevens. He's going to have to hold the inside as they head towards La Source.
The drivers
as they start lap 9.
The drivers are 1 season 1, 2 and 3 battling it out here into La Source. Katz round the outside of Stevens. Stevens will have the inside line on the exit, but Katz might have the superior straight line speed and he's through. So Andreas Katz's comeback continues. He's up into 11th position and it's the next car in front of him is going to be Jamie Fluke.
Fields up to 13th. So that's good for Simon. It looks like have we lost a couple of cars? Let me just see. Ashley Blake could have been in the wars somewhere down there.
Yeah, it looks like it. Way down in 42nd place.
See him dropping down the timing screens actually. And
Just on
Heffern's
board
got
with
ahead of
Julian Janowski as well. He's closing in on Chaz Draycott, who in turn is closing in on Steve Burke. So good little battle. There's a battle just ahead of them as well. Zuzov
And Smolenski.
and Smolenski. They were side by side going into Lacombe. Nothing going there.
Sorry, this is lap 8, not lap 9 that it was incorrectly. But Burke and Draycott and Janowski. Chaz Draycott first race for Leo Bodnar. It's pretty nerve-wracking, Alex. First race for a new team, and he's acquitting himself well.
Yeah, doing a great job out there. And yeah, like you say, you don't really want your first race to be when there's another 55 cars on the grid. But yeah, doing a great job. 23rd place at the moment. Closing in on Steve Burke. We know how good Steve Burke is as well. He's always in the action.
I will give Chaz a bit of a shout as well. He does organise the BSR Kia Club Series, which is the, if you like, second tier league that's going at the moment. A couple of drivers from that have joined us for today. Matt Bunn and I've lost Neil Bamber as well, who I believe is part of that league as well.
Dan Hunt puts another fastest lap in, 2:29, so getting a little bit quicker, 2:21.0, 3/10 faster. Plumley still trying to hold on to that gap and looking at the timing screen while we continue to watch this battle between Draycott and Burke.
Carroll's looking quick though, Adam. Through the bus stop, he had a great run. Plumley's got to slow down. I do believe.
Maybe not.
Yeah, he's just moving over, I think, to disturb the slipstream. We've got 2 laps to go in this race, but Plumley runs wide.
I think Plumley's tyres are shot because he just can't turn in, can he, Alex?
No, I think,
struggling there. And just hearing word actually, Lucas Dolzer there just had a blue screen, so he got kicked out of the sim exactly the same time as Steve Walker was going, having his little shenanigans at the top of Eau Rouge, so that's why I thought it was potentially Lucas.
This is a horrible day, Adam, for John Roberts in the AM category. He's down in 48th place, and his rival Paul Smith is up in 9th.
Yeah, not good as for John Roberts, battling away with Scott Malcolm here in the battle for 47th place on the racetrack. Stelian Chepelevsky up in front in 46th. So he started 19th place on the grid, so he might have had a bit of issue at the start of the race, especially going...
Sorry guys, great battle going on right now. Steve Richardson, Lee Berridge, Brian Blackford, almost 3 wide through turn 1. We're going to certainly have some 2 wide, maybe through Eau Rouge. Richardson having a little look, he wants to get Berridge.
What's Brian going to do? He's sat behind, he's going to take full commitment through Eau Rouge. That's my boy, over the hill of Radion, and he's overtaken Berridge already. That's fantastic from Blackford through Eau Rouge.
And I think Berridge has got such a poor run, he's now going to be under pressure from Kev Noonan. Noon down the inside, and he's through.
Yeah, Noon's through, and then it's Whitehead just behind, and then it's McCarran. McCarran under pressure from Graham. Is Graham going to take the position into Lacombe? Oh, well, McCarran decides to give him a little bit of nudge on the way in, and there's Hefford, and there's Alfala. So those guys not out of... Well, they're out of contention, I guess, for a reverse grid, but still battling hard.
Battles inside the top 10. We've got Paul Smith and Andreas Katz battling. Katz through now into 10th position.
P10, yep.
And Stevens battling with Field, and at the same time, Pete Newman was battling with Wojciech Savidovic. And look how close Field and Stevens are as they head through Stavelo and down towards Blanchemont.
We mentioned the quality of this field, Alex, on a weekly basis. We're like a broken record, but you can see it here in the fact that Savidovic, Job, and Rushworth haven't surged through, have they?
No, they've really struggled. 15th is about it. I mean, Savidovic closing in a little bit, but Rushworth hasn't been able to make any real ground, and Seb's just sort of following him as Field has a little look around the outside of Stevens, got the cutback, so they're going to be side by side coming out of the bus stop.
Job's just taken Rushworth, Alex, at the bus stop chicane. Field, is he going to have a look on Stevens? Look at this battle in front. That's the one that we need to look at, really. It's Russell Laidler in 4th, 5th Dustin Hickman, then Dancraft in 6th, 7th Baker, 8th Broström, 9th Fluke, then it's Katz in 10th and Smith in 11th.
Baker, who finished 4th in race 1, so he's done a fantastic job to get up to 7th place in this race with a very clean car. Let's see if we can get a run on Daniel Kraft through Eau Rouge and up to Les Combes. We're on the final lap of the race here in the second race of the evening here at Spa-Francorchamps. No moves happening yet. Kraft looks to the inside of Hickman, but I think Hickman's got just enough in the balance so he can maintain his top 5 place at the moment.
Yeah, that Deutsche Post car looks like he's got good straight line speed, but he's under a lot of pressure now from Dan Kraft. The lead at the front is down to 1.05 seconds, so there's still a chance for Graham Carroll.
Crash, and it involves Kip Stevens. Kip Stevens is off, and he's going to come back on in front of Sebastian Job, who's managed to get past Savidovic. Job down the inside, past Stevens, and Savidovic should follow suit as well. But
it was with Field, Adam, that Stevens had a bit of a contact with.
And let's see if he'll move out the way and let his teammate Jamie Rushworth through.
Just going to take a quick look at that back on replay before the end of this race. Oh, we just caught the tail end of it, yeah, through Lacombe. A little bit of, just a little tag on the rear there. Got put into the wall. It's going to survive, I think, but it's going to slow him down. He's got a fair bit of damage. We'll jump back live.
It's Daniel Hunt that we need to focus on now as he's coming through Curve Paul Frere for the last time. His lead has been cut. It was 1.2. It's now 0.75. As they're coming up towards the bus stop, he should be fine, Daniel Hunt. We've said this before, it doesn't always go smoothly when you're in the lead on the final lap. It's the worst time to be in that position. Oh, is he sliding into Blanchimont?
Oh, goes
and
off
he's
in
off
a big
the track
way.
In Blanchimont,
And
as is Carroll.
Yeah, I think Carroll really just followed him off. He's got the gap down to 0.6 of a second. Hard on the brakes into the final chicane. Look how close.
He's right with him now. He's going to go on the inside. Oh, the Hunt's hit the curve. And he's going to survive and he's going to take a win.
His second
brilliant win for Dan Hunt, just ahead of Carroll. Graham Carroll gave everything there, Alex, at the end, and they're still going off through the bus stop. Baker and Broström and Fluke crashing into each other a little bit there.
Yeah, everybody's delighted to get through that one. This looks quite close between Newman and Joe. That's
Newman's one. Newman's got that one.
Battle between Stephen Burke and
before Drake got as well. Yep.
In the final corner,
trying to get a cutback. That's going to be a drag race to the start-finish line. Who's going to get that one?
Stephen Burke will get 22nd. Drake got for 23rd.
Right, let's look.
Neil Bamber as well, 6/10 back. There's a good one between Kevin Noon, Whitehead and Steve Hefford there. Oh, there's a few cars in front of them. That's ridiculously close, but no one looks like they're battling out there. They're going to come through.
Wide.
Who's gone wide?
And that's going to allow Noon to get through. They rub door panels on the exit. Kev Noon will get through and claim 33rd position. Berridge 34th, Whitehead 35th, Hefford 36th.
And then Alfala in 37th, then Janowski. And they're still battling on the. Well, that's pretty much it for the battles, I think.
Well, no, not entirely. 47th and 48th, Scott Malcolm and John Roberts. They're just going through. Where are they? They've just come out of Pouhon at the moment, so they've got a little while to go. So we'll keep an eye on this one. There's plenty of time for an overtake. John Roberts, we know, needs all the points. Yep. He was just 1 point ahead going into this night's race. So. An extra point is going to help him because Paul Smith had a great run that last one. So
looks like Malcolm's got the pace at the moment.
Yeah, it does. He looks like he's dropping back a little bit. He's trying, but it's just not happening.
Just quickly, Alex, Lee Thompson finished 41st in the end. He did get back on the lead lap and he did finish the race. So well done to him. Jake Blackall 3 laps down, so he could not make it to the finish and score any points.
Blown, yeah. Let's have a look. Still pretty close, still 0.7 of a second. So looks like Robert's car much quicker on a straight line. Let's see what he does.
Oh, he's got a great run through the chicane.
Has he run out of fuel?
Malcolm.
To be fair, Scott Malcolm was coasting a bit towards the end of the lap.
That was close, but he keeps it.
Yeah.
He just wanted it to be exciting. He thought, they're watching.
That was 1/100th of a second, Adam, there between Malcolm and Roberts.
Well, there you go. Battle's all the way down 100th of a second, separating the battle for 47th on the racetrack. And Daniel Hunt takes his second win of the season. His second win for GT Omega as well. That will help solidify their second position in the Teams Championship. The top 3 in the Teams Championship go through to the showdown to fight it out for what the majority of the $10,000 prize fund is for. Daniel Hunt then Daniel Hunt taking the victory with Graham Carroll in second position. Robert Plumley taking a well-deserved podium in third. Russell Lader in fourth with Dustin Hickman in fifth position. Great job from him. Daniel Kraft in sixth. David Baker in seventh. Linus Bostrom in eighth. Jamie Fluke in ninth. And Andreas Katz from 24th rounds out the top 10. The 11th. Go on, Andrew. I'll go quickly. Paul Smith 11th with Summerfield in 12th. Pete Newman in 13th. Sebastian Jobe in 14th. And then the reverse grid candidates. Wojciech Svidovic in 15th. Kip Stevens 16th. Jamie Rushworth 17th. Sharon Kaiser 18th. Rob Fag 19th. Alex Malensky 20th. 21st Stanimir Zuzov. 22nd Stephen Burke. 23rd Chaz Draycott. 24th Mark Johnston. 25th Dan Blake. And then the final reverse grid car in 26th Maximilian Scheider.
Yeah, indeed he was. And Alex, I was going to ask you, you've got experience of racing in 35 car fields, not necessarily 53, but how great is it when you finish on the podium or the top 10 even in a field like this?
That's awesome feeling, to be honest, when you know that you're that far up and such a huge race. And I think even the drivers that finish in 10th or 12th will be extremely happy with the result. I mean, you just have to look to see how hard they have to battle it out in that race to get that kind of a finish. So just I think anyone in around there are going to be delighted. And I think there'll be a few people new to the series, first time privateers as well, that have jumped in, that are going to be down in sort of 30th place, that'll be delighted with that result, because there's 20 odd cars still behind them.
Great result for Neil Bamber, who made 20 places up. Started 49th, finished 29th. That's the best result in terms of moving forward throughout the field, I believe, that we have in this race. Other good ones, Dan Kraft made up 12, Graham Carroll 11, Fluke 11, Katz 14, Svidovic 10, Job 9. So there was a few good results there. Draycott 10. Jay Wright made up 12 spots and still only finished 27th. Brian Blackford 48th to 31st. Steve Richardson 53rd on the grid to 32nd in the race. There you go.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I've never seen grid numbers in the 50s, and I'm quite frankly I'm scared.
Not all in one class. I've seen a 60-car grid with multi-class racing, and over 3 different categories, but 60 in one or 55 in one, yeah, awesome. It's the Wheel of Fortune time. We definitely need to get the music cranked on for this, I reckon.
It is indeed. I should have done. They're probably sewers or something.
And the candidates.
We'll download it. Go on, Adam. Who's up for it?
Well, the cars that are eligible for the reverse grid are as follows: Wojciech Svidovic, Kip Stevens, Jamie Rushworth, Sharon Kaiser, Rob Fag, Alex Malensky, Stanimir Zuzov, Stephen Burke, Chaz Draycott, Mark Johnston, Dan Blake, and Maximilian Scheider. Who's going to get that number for the reverse grid poll?
You tried to do that in your best game show voice there as well, didn't you? Right, here we go.
May the odds be ever in your favour.
Right, here we go. 18, 22nd.
Need like the ticker noise, yeah.
Oh, it's going to be... Yeah, that's easy. It's not even as close this time. Oh, it's pretty similar. 20th place it goes to.
Alex Malensky, so he could be on with a shout of taking his 3rd win of the season if he wins race 3. Rob Fag will be starting in 2nd. He won at Watkins Glen a few weeks ago. Jerome Kaiser hasn't won a race, I think, since season 6. Jamie Rushworth in 4th and Kip Stevens in 5th. So Power Max well represented in the top 5, but look who's behind. Wojciech Svidovic and Sebastian Jobe in 6th and 7th place on the grid, with Simon Field not too far behind them as well. So I think we've got all the ingredients for a fantastic race 3.
That is one of the most mouth-watering grids I think I've ever seen of our reverse grids, Alex. Does mean that the likes of Job and Svidovic up near the front, really, and despite having not a great second race.
Yeah, exactly. It just goes to show. I mean, Svidovic got himself some damage in there and all sorts of stuff went on. So, but yeah, we normally see them back towards the back somewhat in these sort of third races. So, could be interesting to see how that pans out. Katz obviously had such a good race in that second one, so he's going to be a bit further behind them. So it just goes to show how the reverse grids can really ebb and flow the championship sort of competing drivers away from each other. So Katz, great performance, but now he's up against it with his rivals getting a head start.
Yep, and well, that head start could be crucial as we head into round 3 of the evening. So it's going to be Alex Smolensky on pole here at Spa-Francorchamps for race 3. We'll see you after the break. Well, can it get any better? We hope so. We'll see you then.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Truex on the outside, contact made. 56 slides in at a 4. Who's going to be at the stripe? Dead even, give it to Ryan Truex. Truex is your winner over Tandy.
For the final time this evening, the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship Pro Series is at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson with you. And Adam, I'll bring you in first. We've got Alex Smolinski on pole position, 20 cars reversed. Is it going to match the quality of the races we've had so far?
Well, before you went to commercial break, you said we had a mouth-watering grid for this third and final race, and I have to agree with that. Let's run you through the top 20. Alex Smolinski on pole position, Robert Fagg in second, Jerome Kaiser in third, Jamie Rushworth in fourth, Kip Stevens in fifth, Wojciech Savidovic in sixth, Sebastian Jobers in seventh, Pete Newman is in 8th, Simon Field in 9th, and Paul Smith in 10th position. 11th, Andreas Katz. So the top 11 are all race winners. Jamie Fluke 12th, Linus Bergstrom 13th, David Baker 14th, Daniel Kraft 15th, Dustin Hickman in 16th, Russell Layler 17th, Robert Plumley 18th, Graham Carroll 19th, and Daniel Hunt, the race 2 winner, rounding out the top 20. So many race winners in that top 20. And so many championship contenders as well towards the front of the pack. And I think really Savidovic and Stevens, two brilliant racers. Season 1 and Season 2 champion in Stevens, Season 6 champion and championship leader in Wojciech Savidovic. Both hard racers. Those two are going to be brilliant to watch at the start.
Yeah, I completely agree with that as well. I think it's going to be fantastic up there. Alex Simpson, World Championship driver. Alex, you're used to these big grids, as we mentioned in the last round, but you're also used to tight competition at the front. What can we see here? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, I think this third race is going to be a little bit more interesting based on just that epic grid that Adam just read out there. I mean, that's got a good combination of drivers, talent at the front there. It's going to be difficult for anyone to make any moves. They're all going to be slipstreaming each other to as much as they possibly can into Lecombe. That seems to be the favourite spot for everybody to make moves. So it's going to be difficult for people like Katz that are a little bit further back to make progress in this one. I can see perhaps a 10 or 15 car pack at the end of this race up front, which would just cap our evening off just perfectly.
Yeah, we think it could be one of the best races we've ever seen, Adam. Runners through that top 20.
Again? Yeah, sure.
Sorry, have you done it already?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I can run you through the championship.
It's fine. Oh, sorry.
The updated championship standings going into this race. Savidovic's lead is pretty much the same going into this race, reaching 484-point lead over David Baker. Katz in third. Chepelevsky continues to lose ground after finishing in 46th in race 2. He's still in 4th, with Simon Fields in 5th. Ever improving Alex Smolensky in 6th position. This could be a great opportunity for him to leap inside that top 5. Kip Stevens in 7th. It's really close actually in the battle for 7th, with Kip Stevens in 7th, Sebastian Job in 8th, Jimmy Rushworth in 9th, and Pete Newman in 10th. And then if you go down to Lee Thompson in 11th, those 4 or 5 cars are separated by just over 100 or so points. So a bad finish for one of those guys could definitely knock them down the order and possibly even out of the showdown. Lee Thompson will be eager to get back inside that top 10 after blowing that engine in after having that huge crash going into Blanchimont in race 2.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. It's been a long day.
Well, it's been a frantic 2 races.
Frantic 2 races, indeed, and we're going to see a fantastic third one. It seems we're about a minute away from when the cars are going to go to the grid. Is this race going to favour anyone in particular, Alex? Do you think, as we're in the third race of the evening, anyone's going to, anyone going to be putting their experience to good use here?
Well, I think they've all got to put their experience to good use out there. No, is the short answer to that question.
I'm just going to go home now.
It's just too close up front there. There's no way. I think anybody's going to have an advantage. We've seen in the last couple of races the slipstream effect can close you up a good half a second down the Kemmel Straight. So very difficult for drivers to break away. The only times we've really seen gaps start to form is when they battle, and they battle hard through Lecombe. So that could, of course, spice it up a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for anyone to really make any real progress, I think, in this one.
Andrew, Smolensky's at the front. There's going to be bound to be fireworks in this one.
You would think so. I mean, Alex has won many races. I think he's won 8 or 9 races in this series, and he's got Robert Fagg alongside him, who did win in Watkins. So it seems like we could have a very, very exciting race. Your own Kaiser in 3rd, Rushworth in 4th, Stevens 5th. That's very exciting anyway. But then you add those championship contenders in there, previous race winners, and I think it's going to be absolutely epic. Just how hard is it going to be, Adam, for those guys starting at the back, who've maybe had a couple of poor rounds to come through here?
Well, I think we've seen through the 2 races tonight, it's going to be very difficult. I think the most positions anyone's ever made up in the 2 races so far tonight is about 20. So if you're starting in the 46th position, like Stelian Chepelevsky, he's starting in the 46th position, isn't he?
Yeah, or Jake Blackhall in 51st. Yeah,
those guys are going to really find it hard to crack inside the 20s, really. I think Jake Blackhall will be very lucky if he can make it inside there. But Chepelevsky, he's a proven race winner and championship runner-up in the past. He could, it all depends what's going to go on in front of him, I think. It depends really how many cars get involved in any big collisions. We're yet to see a huge incident. The last few race meetings, we've seen a few cautions. We haven't seen any so far tonight.
Alex, if you were to wager a £5 note on this, who would you put it on?
I'd actually put it on Smolensky. I think he's in the best position. I think those guys are going to battle behind him hard, and if he can get a good start here, that could keep him clear going into Lecombe for the first time. And you never know, if he gets a 1.5-2 second break away from the first lap, we know how quick he is. He could drive away.
I want to go for Jamie Rushworth. I think he's got the best chance here. From the second row of the grid, he's alongside your own Kaiser, who actually don't rule him out as well. He's won one race in this series, and actually Smolensky.
No, he's going to wait.
He's going to wait.
No,
there was a directive from race control to wait until the source, so
somebody's already on the grass there.
Yeah, Smolensky's obviously
giving the tyres.
Note.
Yep,
there he goes. Yeah, he went into the source really quickly, so he got a good exit. Very wise and sensible. Good restart from him. Here we go.
Green.
So the green flag flies for the 3rd time tonight here at Spa-Francorchamps in Belgium. and it's Smolensky of Bulgaria into O'Roos first, and Robert Fagg of England, and your own Kaiser of Holland.
Tell you what, such a great call by the race organisers to put a rolling start in. Savidovic is getting past Kaiser already as we head down towards Les Comp. Engine Oils Direct versus Engine Oils Direct.
I'm just looking a little bit further back. There's a crash there. I think that's Blackall. He might be up and over. Some major problem there, but
oh yeah, all the way down the hill.
Yeah, we
continue. He hit the wall, Alex. Oh, he had steering damage already. He already had severe damage coming through La Source. Did he run into a pile? Oh, there was a pile-up on the first lap in La Source, and it was an Apex car that was involved. But then Blackall ended up.
Oh, sorry, Andrew. Another crash going on. Steve Burke involved in this one, and one of the Bodmer cars as well. Who's that? That's Jay Wright involved this time as well. So. A lot of little incidents in the first lap. Everybody's checking up the corner with no name. There's a friction car in there as well. So, yeah, a few problems going on this restart.
It was Thompson, Alex, with the damage. There was all sorts going on in turn one. We might have to try and replay that at some point if we can. Maybe after the race. But Thompson, it was that ended up coming back onto the track after a crash, and Blackall ended up hitting him.
Well, let's have a look then at the battle at the front of the pack then. Rob Fagg has dropped Smolensky a bit, the gap 0.6 of a second. Fagg coming under pressure already from Jamie Rushworth and Wojciech Savidovic. They didn't take long working their way to the front of the pack, I tell you. Working their way through Blanchimont for the first time. Rushworth could sense an opportunity to get second place already as we head into the... Oh, big crash! Who was that? It looked like a Leo Bodmer car. It was Katz.
Andreas Katz out. Major damage for the German, and he's out. He's back to the pit lane.
Let's take a look at that back instantly. Let's see what's gone on there. As we jump back, just waiting for. Oh, looks like the. Oh, don't do this on me. As I reset my overlay, we can just see what's going on.
Davidovic and Rushworth battling into La Source. Alex, have you managed to?
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm just seeing. It's a court panel for Katz. I'm still waiting for everything to reset here. It's going to take a second. Just bear with me, and we'll get back live as quickly as we can. We are live.
We picked out, Andrew, that Andreas Katz was the only driver not starting in amongst the championship contenders, and that might have been the reason why he ended up like that.
Yeah, I mean, it could well be. I mean, we didn't really see it. I'll be honest, I confess I didn't see what happened. And Robert Fagg now under serious pressure from Rushworth. But this is what Alex was saying at the start of the race. If Smolensky can get a break, and he did have a slight break, but I wonder if he made a little mistake in the last sector, because they've closed up quite rapidly now. And Savidovic is up the inside of Rushworth.
Yeah, Savidovic was very opportunistic there. Rushworth was battling it out with Fagg, and Savidovic, is he going to be late on the brakes into Rivage? Not as late as Rushworth, I don't think. Rushworth going to hang it out around the outside. The tyres are still at their best here. Going into the corner with no name, turn 7. He will maintain his third position for now.
These two very evenly matched, and Rushworth defending hard from Savidovic, and Savidovic trying to find his way through. Is he going to have a look into Pouon? It's almost impossible to pass in there, even in the Kia Optima. It's got a third or fourth gear corner through there. Job is in 5th, but he's under serious pressure from Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser looking, but just a little bit too far back. Everybody actually just sort of falling in single file.
Just seen Smith going off at Pouon. In fact, Stevens is off as well. Well, no, it wasn't Stevens. I'm not sure who that was.
Might have been Chaz.
It might have been Stevens, actually. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was a car with red mirrors on it.
Stevens still in 7th place.
It could have been the Deutsche Post car. It was the Deutsche Post car of
Dustin
Scheider, I think.
Dustin's down there as well. His livery's actually showing this time. 1 and 3.
Yeah, it's Max Scheider who was off at, who was struggling through Pouon instead of Neil Bamber.
Savidovic went wide there through Blanchimont in the battle for 3rd position between him and Jamie Rushworth. In the background, though, more Power Max cars battling with the red bonnet. That is Kip Stevens battling it out with Pete Newman going through the bus stop chicane. His teammate Simon Field is in 9th with Jamie Fluke in 10th, and he's now side by side with David Baker as they come across the line.
Baker started 14th. He's up to Pete.
Inside Rushworth.
Yes, he's got the lead, and here comes Rob Fagg to get them both. Rob Fagg taking the lead here. Jamie Rushworth in 2nd. Savidovic now through into 3rd position with Smolensky down to 4th.
Excellent driving from Robert Fagg, and look at Sebastian Job charging down the hill towards Eau Rouge. He thought about trying it on
Rushworth out of
Smolenski.
shape. Rushworth out of shape in a big way, and now Savidovic is going to be right with him. 2 by 2, Savidovic and Rushworth, and at the same time, Sebastian Job and Alex Smolenski as they head down towards Lake Combe.
Robert Fagg's going to have to choose to defend the inside line, and Rushworth twitching all over the place. He threw, thanks to the slight push from Savidovic. Fagg lay on the brakes. Rushworth around the outside, and is there any contact here between Fagg and Rushworth? No, not quite. Fagg maintains the lead. Savidovic on the inside of Jamie. Jamie needs to be careful here, and as does Wojciech and Joe. He's looking into Rivaz as well. It is all going off here at Spa-Francorchamps, the BSRTC Pro Series, live on YouTube and on Motors TV. Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath, Alex Simpson with you. We're lap 3 of 10 here, and already it's exciting stuff, Alex.
Yeah, what a fantastic battle. We knew this would be one probably best race of the season so far. There's 8 laps to go as well, and I think we've got 3 of the quickest drivers just chasing down Rob Fagg, who's no slouch on his own. Look at that pack behind them.
Job is so close to the back of Savidovic. I think he may have traded some paint with the back of that car. He's rubbing that BSRTC Pro Series sticker off, as Job is desperately looking for a way past the Polish driver who leads the championship. He's already a former champion of season 6, and he's looking for his 2nd title this season. Can he get that by December, Adam? He's got a great chance.
Well, Savidovic and Job, they've got the most wins so far this season, and they're going to be right neck and neck on points when it comes to the showdown. And Job's looking for a move into Blanchimont. You never see that. Looking down the inside of the Engine All Direct car, no way through surely. And now Rushworth's close to one to the back of Fagg as well. We've got a battle for the lead brilliantly here now in the 3rd and final race of the evening. Rushworth looking to the inside, he cuts to the outside, and Job almost does exactly the same thing in the background. Kaiser battling with Smolenski. Rushworth down the inside of Fagg. Job down the inside of Savidovic on the exit of the bus stop.
Fagg.
And fantastic exit from Savidovic as well.
And he's now on the inside of Rushworth. So can he get through into La Source? Savidovic, can he get into 2nd place? He was 6th on the grid. Wojciech means business here. Rushworth around the outside, he will not be intimidated.
Rushworth gets forced out wide, but he comes back on and just behind Savidovic. That's what he wants,
it's
really.
contact to the hairpin. I think that was Laidler and Smith.
Yeah, it was Smith. Yeah, I just heard, just saw Smith there, just on the edge of the screen in the STEM sim car there. As the front 4 continue.
Savidovic has got a fantastic run on Fagg. Here he comes, round the outside.
He was very close to a slowdown there, Adam, but he's going to turn this into an advantage as he's going down the main straight towards Lake Combe. Robert Fagg's hanging in there, Rushworth's there as well. Is Fagg going to break very, very late and get up the inside of Savidovic? No, he can't. So Wojciech into the lead. Robert Fagg in 2nd, Rushworth 3rd, and Job in 4th. And 5th Smolenski, 6th Kaiser, 7th Stevens. Alex, how hard is it to follow a car so closely as Job is doing?
Rushworth's outbraked himself.
Oh, that's going to be, he just about stops it before he hits the gravel. He's got his nose on the inside of Seb. No, he's just back, so he's had to settle in 4th place. He was lucky there. But yeah, to answer your question, Andrew, it's ridiculously difficult. These Gear Optimas, you might think they look quite slow, but they're doing sort of 160 miles an hour down that back straight, if not a bit more. And, well, when you need your braking point and you've got a great big massive touring car in front of you, it's almost impossible to spot it. So to drive behind someone, it's near enough impossible. So it just goes to show these guys absolutely on the ragged edge there, and yeah, they're risking everything really. It's the top 17 cars in this pack, by the way.
Alex, the prophecy is coming true. All these wonderful drivers at the front of the field. This is why this is the best series on iRacing, the best sim racing series in the world, in my opinion. My opinion doesn't mean a great deal, but I can tell you the facts speak for themselves. Use your eyes and see it.
Job down the inside of Fagg into Blanchimont. I said we never saw moves there, but it looks like we might just have a move into Blanchimont. Sebastian Job through into 2nd place. Whoa, that was nearly a quarter panel there. That was so close to disaster there.
That was exactly how his teammate got taken in.
There's contact! Rushworth's off the course of the bus stop.
He's going to slow
Vettel
down.
and Button in 2010.
Oh, he's just going to have to settle for the slowdown all the way back to that pack.
It's going to be 2, 3, 4 seconds, isn't it? And the top 17, as Alex mentioned, covered by 6.4. Rushworth, has he served it? I think he has.
Simon Field, Carroll, look at this. All going into turn 1. That's 3 wide into turn 1 there.
Oh, brilliant move by Carroll up the inside of Fluke. And Fluke getting pushed off the track. by Graham
here comes
Carroll.
Kraft, and here comes Kraft to get past Carroll into Eau Rouge. I think Carroll's got the inside line, so he should have the momentum going through, and Fluke will have to lose out to Field, I think.
He's tried to...
Just enough space.
Oh, look at Daniel Hunt, what a run! He's gone very, very wide off the track, and he's have to settle in behind Simon Field now. Down Kemmel. And it's all counting down a tiny bit. It's not counting behind them either. Laidler, side by side with Brostrom. That's for oh goodness knows what position. That's for 16th place. It's Carroll going side by side with Dan Kraft. Kraft getting the advantage over the Scotsman.
Not for long.
Not for long though. Carroll's hit him, and Kraft's gone a bit wide, but that's going to allow Simon Field to try and sneak through.
And Field can get past
through
Carroll
to
as well.
Rivaz?
Carroll down the inside, around the outside, sorry, and Field just got an overlap into turn 7, the corner with no name. Carroll's going to lunge it up back down the inside. They're going to be side by side into P1, and he turns him round.
And he survives somehow. Both men go over the grass.
But Daniel Hunt's going to
trying
get through.
to wrestle back control of that Kia Optima under intense pressure. An intense fight in this race. The combine's immense here. Alex, have you ever seen anything like this?
This is just absolutely fantastic. Don't know where to look right now. There's battles going on everywhere. This has broke that little pack apart now, so Graham Carroll in 10th place leads this second little pack.
Yeah, and Ellis Stevens just in front of them, and then it's Dave Baker, then it's Newman. Baker's actually lost touch with this pack slightly, Adam. It doesn't look like he's got the pace in the middle part of this race, the season 7 champion.
Yeah, David Baker in 8th position. He's just in front of Kip Stevens in 9th. Who's in front of Baker though? It's Jamie Rushworth battling away with Jerome Kaiser. Rushworth on the comeback after picking up that slowdown. Was it a lap ago? That's how quick the action happens in the BSRTC. Down towards the bus stop. Rushworth to the outside of Kaiser, and I think Kaiser sensibly lets the season 4 champion through. Round the outside goes Rushworth. He's now back into a 5th position.
I wonder if Kaiser had a mild slowdown there, Alex, as well. He was on the brakes quite early. I wonder if he just had to yield a little bit.
I think Kaiser's had a very different approach to this race, and it's all about clocking up the points for Engine Oil Direct to make sure they maintain their lead in the championship, and he's not really fighting anyone too dramatically out there today.
They've got a very good chance, Alex, of winning the $4,000 at the end of the season.
Exactly that. That is why they're working well, and Kaiser knows that he needs to just, like I say, just keep banging those points in. He'll try and maintain his position. If he gets an easy overtake, he'll take it. But he's got Baker on him right now. Oh, he's good. This will be
Newman went very wide at the top of the hill, Adam, and now it's meant that Baker's going to get through. And is Kaiser going to get the position back that he just gave away?
No, he yielded. Look, he yielded. But he's going to try and go around the outside. Pete Newman.
And he gets hit. Oh, poor Kaiser, and Newman's off.
Kaiser's alright, Newman's off.
And now Kaiser's going to be under pressure from...
Newman joined straight in front of the traffic ahead. That was like Carroll on that second pack. Fortunately, they all managed to avoid him. There's 3 people in Media's cars right next to him now.
There were 2 of essentially his employees there in that train, and he nearly derailed a lot of them. As just behind them, Paul Smith, Rusty Laidler, Rob Plumley, Linus Brostrom, Zuzov, Dracov, Bond. It's like a constant train back to about 21st position. Justin Hickman in the Deutsche Post car. He's actually struggling. He's got some damage, so he came a cropper on that lap. Just have a little look.
Stelian Chepelevsky up to 29th place from 46th on the grid, so good, modest comeback from him. He's battling out with Steve Richardson and Steve Walker.
Job's starting to close, Adam, now
Brilliant.
on Wojciech Savidovic, and he's getting within half a second here. And he did set the fastest lap last time round out of anyone. And he was 0.3 of a second quicker than the Polish driver.
Yeah, 227.862 for Job, 228.101 for Wojciech Savidovic. I think Job has got the pace underneath him. Let's have a look as they go through Blanchemont. He's right with the Engine Oil's direct driver through the left-hander. Savidovic puts a wheel to into the grass. Is Job going to go for a move now? We're going to get 4 laps. We're going to get 3 laps to go when we get to the line. Job doesn't fancy a move just yet as they head through the bus stop.
That's sensible on the part of Sebastian Job, Alex. He knows that he can't win the race on this lap, but he can definitely lose it.
Yeah, exactly. It's pulling a little gap away from Rob Bagg as well, so they can get that gap up to 2 seconds, and it pretty much leaves them free to have a battle on the last lap. Maybe Seb's just trying to line up a move where he knows he's not going to lose his podium position. Right now, Rob Bagg, Smolinski so close that any sort of overtake opportunity, could see him on the defensive very, very quickly.
Tell you what, Sebastian Job has definitely, has got a very good advantage on the exit of corners, because he's able to pull about 4 or 5 tenths just on the exit of these corners, but Sebastian Job is able to pull it back down the straight.
Yeah, he just flirt with danger, Svidovic, every time he climbs the hill into Eau Rouge. Lap 7 of 10 here at Spa-Francorchamps. Here on Motors TV, Andrew Woodhouse, Adam Bath and Alex Simpson with you. Svidovic leads, Job
Kip
in second, then Robert Fagg in third, sorry.
Kip making a move on Jeroen side by side into Lecombe. Jeroen doesn't really try and fight it around the outside.
Cut back.
He's in. Carroll having a little look.
Oh, he's going to go around the outside.
That is a great move.
Fantastic positioning of
Then
the car
Carroll
there
trying
by
to follow
Kaiser.
him through as well.
And
Hunt.
And
Hunt.
Carroll having a look maybe on the inside.
Down the inside goes Kaiser. And he's going to
Unbelievable.
force Stevens wide. Fantastic job from Kaiser there. Is he going to get the clear? Kip Stevens is going to lunge it back down the inside into turn 7.
Carroll's
But Kaiser
disappeared.
turns across.
He's back. Just a little glitch there. That would have had them all a little worried for a second, I'll tell you. Dan Hunt on the
That's
outside
the-
of Carroll.
Carroll lunged it down the inside. Whoa, that's close.
no way you can get through Pouon, not when you're that tight on the inside of the corner. And that's the one thing about sim racing, Alex. There's still some unpredictabilities, technical errors that can happen. Oh, Carroll! He cut right across the front of Daniel Hunt, and that was very nearly disaster for the friction driver. Job's got the gap down to 4 tenths.
Yeah, he closes it in on this latter part of the lap. I think his best bet really is a lunge down the inside on the final lap into the bus stop, really to catch Svidovic unawares. This battle's still unfolding though.
Yeah, he's
The
extremely
seventh
late
place.
on the brakes, his Job, Adam, as well. It reminds me of Ashley Sutton in the way that he can overtake people on the brakes.
Kaiser versus Stevens, and Carroll going to the inside from Blanchimont. He's got an overlap, but will he get the move done into left-hander? Goes back into the inside of Kip Stevens, but into the bus stop. Hunt is all over the AstroTurf on the exit. Who's going to go down the inside? Hunt is going to go down the inside, but Stevens is going to go down the inside of Kaiser. Is there his
Kaiser
contact?
turns in and he's hit. That was always going to happen. I don't think Kaiser quite gave enough room that time. And he's also hitting Daniel Hunt.
And Carroll's got past them both, so Carroll up into 7th position with Kip Stevens in 8th,
Look
and now
at
Daniel
this.
Hunt side by
And
side as well.
Look, Alex, at the pack behind them as well.
Kaiser, that was surely a little bit of
Retaliation.
Post-retaliation there. Just has a little punt in there.
know that
Who was that
Stevens-
he hit? That was one of
Stevens.
that was a race official effectively as well.
Stevens,
So-
the
Sure
league
that-
admins hitting each other essentially there. But
Yeah.
you know that Stevens is like an elephant. He doesn't forget things like that. And
Well, free wide here.
Kaiser might just get some a bit later on as Rob Fagg defending hard for the last spot on the podium ahead of Alex Smolensky. Then it's Rushworth in 5th place. Then you've got David Baker at the back of this train. So there's these little clusters, Alex, these little battle packs throughout the field.
Yeah, the front two are away now, and that's pretty much what I said would happen. So Seb at some point I think is going to have a little go at Svidovic, but we're just looking at this battle between Rob Fagg, Smolensky, Rushworth and Baker. Baker's been very, very patient all race long as well. We was lagging behind just a little bit earlier on, but now he's right on the tail of Rushworth and looking very, very racy.
This is the best quality top 10 I think we may have top 20 on the grid, Adam. I think we've had maybe ever in this series. This is showing some excellent driving up here.
Yeah, all the stars really aligned for the third and final race with the reverse grid, putting everyone in practically the perfect position to create such fantastic racing, and we're seeing it here in the third and final race. Rushworth through the Fania chicane right on the back of Alex Smolensky. These two were teammates, of course, a few seasons ago, back in the days of Elite Martini. Through Stavelo and down towards the bus stop. Rushworth gets a good run there through with that long right-hander and down towards Blanchimont. Rushworth is such a clean driver, you wouldn't expect him to do a rash move down the inside into Blanchimont, or is he? Smolensky defending the inside. Rushworth could try and do an outside move there into Blanchimont, but Smolensky has got it covered. Let's see if Rushworth can do it down the inside into the bus stop as he runs a bit wide.
Blanchimont is not the place really to try and make a move if you can help it. Rob Fagg again. As we said in Watkins, Alex, he's placing his car right where he needs to. And Smolensky didn't place his car where he needed to. And Fagg didn't see that coming, and he was turned round by the Bulgarian driver.
Yeah, that was a bit naughty of Smolensky there. He went in a bit hot there, got the line all wrong, and just took the took the normal line through the left-hander part, and poor Opfag was just caught there. He's going to be on his back foot for this final lap.
Rushworth got a good exit out of last source. There's 2 laps to go, Alex.
Sorry.
As we're all getting excited.
We don't want this race to end.
No, we don't. And this is why it's such a fantastic race. And what a great series we've got here. Smolenski Rushworth 2 wheels on the grass through Eau Rouge, trying to unseat Alex Smolenski from that 3rd place. Last step of the podium. Robert Fagg hasn't given up either. He's been up there for the entire race, Adam.
Well, Smolenski's trying to fend off attacks on both fronts from Baker and Rushworth into the right-hander at the top of the hill, and they come. Baker round the outside of Rushworth. Will he have the inside? He will have the inside, but Rushworth will have the inside for the right-hander. Rushworth should hold on to his 4th place. Yes, he does. This is allowing Smolenski to break away just a tiny little bit.
Champion versus champion. Jamie Rushworth, David Baker. This is what we've come to see. And these 2 battling over 4th and 5th places. Excellent work from them, and it's Savidovic, also a champion, leading by 3/4 of a second over Sebastian Job, who surely, Alex, if he remains in this series, is going to win a title of some kind. He might even win the world title one day.
Yeah, he's definitely got the talent to do that, and he's got every chance of winning this season. Of course, he's in the top 10 showdown position overall on the starting points on that. He's currently sat 2nd as well. Savidovic obviously leading that, so who knows how that's going to pan out. Still a lot left of this season to go, and a couple of laps left here as well.
We've seen Sebastian Job qualify just fractions behind the great Gregor Hutu recently, and he's now chasing down one of the best drivers in the Kia Optima. That's Wojciech Savidovic.
How great is this? How great is this? Savidovic and Job lapping their personal best, and I think best lap of the race on the penultimate lap as David Baker and Jamie Rushworth go into battle once again. We're heading through Blanchemont, about to start the final lap of this 3rd and final race of the evening. Baker looks to the inside through Blanchemont. That unsettles the car just a little bit. Rushworth just able to pull a few car lengths going into the bus stop chicane, and that means he's going to be able to stay in his 4th position as we come to the white flag.
Still a great battle going on as well with Kaiser defending from Kip Stevens. Stevens having to be quite cautious there. Jerome Kaiser seems to have had all sorts of fun in this race. This might be the payback time that we're after, Alex, between these 2.
Yeah, let's keep an eye as Stevens does have a little look towards the inside. He's making giving a little look into La Source. He's late on the brakes. Kaiser gives him enough room.
That was beautiful from Stevens, but and I'm surprised he got it stopped, but he braked quite early.
It's not over yet.
He let it run into the corner.
Whoa.
It's a side by side. Oh no!
They carry on.
They survived that somehow. I don't know if they're going to make it up the hill though.
No. No.
Stevens isn't.
Yeah, Stevens is off into the tie barrier.
Kaiser's disqualified. Stevens is in the fence.
I think
and disqualified as well.
I think that's really I think that ends the steward's inquiry right there. Stevens has his race ended, and Kaiser gets disqualified.
Who's going to protest those 2? Everyone, possibly. I don't know. But that's the league.
Smolenski under attack from Baker as well. Had to go defensive into Radion there.
That means
if you ever wondered, Adam,
sorry.
If you ever wondered, Adam, why this series is so crazy, Ellis Stevens and Jeroen Kaiser are partly responsible for running it. There's case in point.
Race organisers versus race organisers. I don't think we've already seen that, and it must mean that Smolenski managed to lose out to Rushworth. So Rushworth up into the podium placings. Good race meeting from Rushworth. He took a race victory in season 6 and in season 5 as well. But look at this, Sebastian Joe. He's using up all of those tyres on the last lap of the race. He's got the gap down to 0.4 of a second. Savidovic and Job lapping their personal bests on the last lap. Can Sebastian Job just get it done through Stavelot and get a run into Blanchemont and possibly have a lunge down the inside into the bus stop? We're about to find out.
He could well do. I think Lopez is about the only top contender who's missing from this meeting. He's had everything else. Apart from Adeko over Lopez, Wojciech Savidovic there. Is he going to come under pressure from Job? Again, I mentioned it's one of the hardest things to do. Lead into the final corner on the final lap and get your braking right.
Job's
Is
too far back.
going to do that?
Yeah, too far back. Unless a lunge into the second part of the bus stop. No, too far back.
He doesn't even think
it's
about it.
It's going to be 2 race wins, I think, for Savidovic. Yeah, 2 race wins. He won race 1 earlier tonight, and he takes race 3 at Spa-Francorchamps.
He celebrates there, Savidovic. And Rushworth is into 3rd position on the final lap. He's through. And he's
Carroll
going to take
on
the
fag as well. Carroll's
last part of
trying.
the podium.
Is he going to get? Oh, that's so close. But Rob
they're gonna
Fag
hit
just
each
gonna
other
get
over the
that.
line,
They're
they're
sideways,
crashing.
but Rob Fag gets it.
The old checkers
Did
and
Fag get
wreckers.
disqualified?
Both of them got disqualified after the line. I think it will count as a result.
Should count, yeah, should count.
Kaiser was disqualified. Stevens is out. Laidler's going to come through. And Laidler's actually up to 10th through all that craziness. I think they did get disqualified.
Battle
No,
between
once the final points are in, that'll count. John
there.
Roberts and Steve Richardson as well going into the final corner.
25th and 26th, and Richardson should hold on to his 25th position as he comes across the line. John Roberts in 26th. Stelin Chepelevsky from 46th on the grid managed to gain 20 spots, 27th position.
And he's
Good job.
still nowhere near the front.
Poor Chepelevsky was at the front at the beginning of the evening in race 1 and
Brian
just didn't work
Backford
out for
coming
him.
across the line. Where is he? He had pretty okay race again. Brian definitely got one up on his teammate this race meeting.
Well, Ray Alfalo actually finished 18th, Alex.
Oh well, I'll take
There
it.
you go. He finished 37th on the grid and finished 18th. I think that's why we didn't notice him. He was anonymous and he was on his own. But yeah, he's good finisher. I mean, he made up 19 spots.
I was looking down the list. I was like, where is he? He's like a lot higher. Yeah, well done, Ray. Just proving once again that he's got the stuff on the road courses as well as the oval.
Yep. And it's great to see drivers like that coming into the series, Adam.
Yeah, Ray Alfalo, big name, of course. NASCAR Peak Anti-Freeze Series, another premier series that is shown on iRacing, and good to see him transfer his skills over to the road courses. And Spa-Francorchamps, you couldn't really get further away from an oval here, and getting a top 20 finish. Great job from him. Hopefully we see him at the next race meeting, and hopefully it's just as exciting as that third and final race that we just witnessed. Well, what a race.
I'm sure it will be. I mean, it's gonna find it. The next meeting's gonna find it difficult to top that, Alex. I reckon.
Right, now what do we want to go back and
Zolder.
watch?
The first lap.
Zolder, that's where we're off to next.
Let's see if we can jump it back.
You've got mind if you're on there, Adam. The first lap, Alex, the hairpin. If you look at sort of Lee Thompson, it's just in front of Lee Thompson on the first lap.
Right, let's see. Here we go. We're on the first lap. So let's find Lee. See what happened. Or was the liveries aren't showing?
It's on the first. It's on the first lap.
Oh yeah, going into La Source.
There was a bit of a pile up in front of Thompson.
Checking up, yeah.
Let's go on. Let's
it's
go on
Whitehead's-
board. With
He goes into the back of the car in front of him.
I hate to say it, does Whitehead cause that?
He goes
By
into the
slowing
yeah.
down.
Yeah, it's a big concertina effect, really. Car number 2, who's that? Ray Alfalo.
So I'm on board with Lee here then. So everybody's sort of.
Maybe not Whitehead's
The
fault,
pack
actually.
didn't go, did they? Everybody's just sort of closing back up there. No one's really sure if they're racing or not. Oh
The
yeah,
guys behind
and-
think they are.
Oh,
actually. It's
dear,
not
and-
Whitehead's fault, actually. Take that
yeah,
back.
it's not. Unfortunately, Lee got caught in the concertina. He got lucky there, and then well, he didn't get lucky because his car's toast. But and then
If you
everything
watch-
else just goes on. Oh, and then coming back onto the track. Oh dear, yeah.
There was,
we're
unfortunately, his
we're
car
in the
was
gyro
knackered.
cam right now as well, and it's doesn't look pretty, I have to say.
His car was knackered, unfortunately.
Let's
Black
take a-
hole just goes.
let's take another little look at that back from outside.
Black hole just goes through, and if you see it as well, Black hole takes one on the roof. After he's hit him, he takes one on the roof from Thompson. Damages the car even more.
Yeah, Blackhall tries to avoid it all.
Yeah, it was all a bit of a mess, and it was all caused by the fact that you just can't fit this grid on one straight, can you, Adam?
Well, I think everybody thought that they were going because of what happened in the second race, and they
Yeah.
weren't. Yeah, there was carnage really.
But
in
the guys
turn
at the
one
front, were listening to the directive from race control
there. Yep.
and actually doing it right. And then the people at the back were like, "Well, they all
Are they-
went last time.
Yeah, are they going? Are they going?
Are they going?"
Oh dear, yeah, and then we just see the aftermath there as well. So, yeah.
One of those unfortunate things, really. It was a great big melee at the first corner, but
That's just a typical
be honest, that's the
TV
only-
meeting, isn't it?
to be honest,
Something
Alex,
like
that's the only really bad accident we had all day, isn't it?
That was it. Yeah, it was great. You know, we could argue that actually that probably could have been a safety car had we clocked it properly there. But yeah, the track really wasn't that blocked and spread itself apart really well. But yeah, a lot of drivers had to make their way back to the pits there. So unfortunate for them, but still, nonetheless, the battle up front. I mean, that 17-car pack for the best part of half of that race. Some individual battles and separated it up a little bit, but yeah, that was great.
Sebastian Job saying he was so slow in the first and last corners, he had no grip, and I think really, Andrew, that was probably how he lost this race tonight, because he was so quick on the straights, he just lost it in La Source, and that seemed to be pivotal.
Quick in the fast corners as well, and just traction really. Alex, I guess when the track's fairly hot and you're in a front wheel drive car, traction can be a nightmare if you're not quite set up just right.
Exactly. Obviously the Kia has limited adjustability on it, but I know the cambers do play a big part in getting that just so for the race, so that you don't burn out the tyre before the end, but you're getting as much grip as you possibly can out of it, and you can lean on them as aggressively as you can. Perhaps Seb just went a tiny little bit aggressive this week. Was quick towards the start. He made those places up, which was obviously key. Svidovic, we know how good he is over the long run as well. So he obviously had his car dialed in. He looked very, very quick, and he was able to make his way past people in the second race as well. Like you say, he had really good traction out of those corners, so perhaps we went with a slightly different approach.
I was astonished how quickly Savida was able to get through from his sixth position on the grid. He was about second or third by the end of the first lap. Let's run you through the finishing order then from this crazy third and final race of the evening, one of the best in the BSRTC. Wojciech Savidovic won by half a second, with Sebastian Job in second. Jamie Rushworth finished in third, with Alex Malensky in fourth, with David Baker in fifth, Daniel Hunt in 6th, Jamie Fluke in 7th, Daniel Kraft in 8th, Simon Field in 9th, and Russell Laidler in 10th. 11th, Paul Smith, with Robert Plumley in 12th, Linus Bostrom in 13th, Stanimir Zuzov in 14th, Chaz Drakert in 15th, Laura Bond 16th, Maximilian Scheider in 17th, Ray Alfala in 18th, Andrew Whitehead in 19th, and Steve Walker in 20th. 21st, John Roberts, 22nd, 21st, Steve Richardson, 22nd, John Roberts, 23rd, Stelin Chepelevsky, Andrew Brown, 24th, and Brian Blackford in 25th. And the cars one lap down or more. In 36th, Rob Fagg, 37th, Graham Cowell. Those two should get their finishing positions after getting disqualified as they come across the line. Jerome Kaiser and Kip Stevens coming to blows on the final lap of the race in spectacular fashion. Neil Bamber in 40th, 41st, Dan Blake, 42nd, Dustin Hickman, 43rd, Robert Graham, 44th, Steve Hefford, 45th, Kevin Noon, 46th, Stephen Burke, 47th, Nick McCarron, 48th, Lucas Dolzer, 49th, Ashley Blake Hood, 50th, Matthew Bunn, 51st, Charlie Sears, and then involved in contact on lap number 2, third place man in the championship, Andreas Katz, and then at the back of the grid, the back of the results, it is Mark Johnston. So quite a few cars involved in incidents in that third and final race, probably most of them really all at the start or in the latter stages of the race.
Yeah, I think that did cripple a few cars. But Adam, 35 cars finishing on the lead lap is still pretty good considering.
Yeah, 35 cars is some of the maximum grids we get at some of the other racetracks. So to have them all finishing on the lead lap, brilliant job by all the drivers, isn't there?
Yeah, and the top 17 now, it's covered by 30 seconds. That's pretty amazing for 10 laps of Spa, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the laps sort of way over approaching 2.5 minutes there as well. I mean, that could have been so much closer. I mean, at one point we were looking at 6 or 7 seconds. So it just goes to show what can happen when the guys start to battle out there, how quickly they can lose the lap time.
Well, next week we head from the fastest circuit in Belgium to the tight and twisty second favourite circuit in Belgium, which is Zolder, of course. That's on the 27th of August. 42 grid slots there, so we won't see the craziness of having 50 cars going into that first corner of Zolder. A lot narrower than Spa-Francorchamps, Andrew, but I think we could see still some good overtakes.
I do enjoy Zolder. It's very technical. It's very tight. But it's another track, Alex, so you need to have good traction. And if Seb's struggling with traction here, maybe Zolder could be similar. I mean, it's similar corners in a way to Spa.
Yeah, I mean, Zolder always come across to me as quite a slippy circuit as well. So yeah, like you say, Spa not so much though. So I think it could be even worse than we've seen here. So that's going to be real key for the drivers, especially in the race, the traction.
Although if Seb's saying he's got no grip and he's finishing half a second behind the winner, he's not doing too badly, is he really?
Yeah, true.
Right, we're going to take a quick commercial break here on YouTube, and we'll be back here in just a few minutes' time. We're going to have some post-race interviews for you and a few replays potentially, and some other shenanigans. So we'll join you right back here in just a few minutes' time.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and welcome back to the British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship. We've seen 3 epic races here at Spa-Francorchamps And here are the championship standings at the end of the race meeting. Wojciech Svidovic now leads David Baker by 503 points, with Andreas Katz still in third. However, it is tight for fourth, only 1 point separating Stelian Chepelevsky and Simon Field. Alex Smolensky is still in sixth position, with Sebastian Job leaping up to seventh place, knocking Kip Stevens down to eighth. Jamie Rushworth remains in ninth position, with Pete Newman down in 10th. However, it's a bad race meeting for Lee Thompson. He's now dropped down to 12th position in the standings. Daniel Hunt's race 2 win, moving him up to 11th position. We're going to bring some drivers now in for some interviews. Joining us first in the commentary box is Jamie Rushworth. And he joins us now. Jamie, a good race meeting for you. You were quickest in practice, and you had 2 good race meetings in race 1 and race 3. Pretty crazy race 3 though.
It was a bit, wasn't it? Apologies to Alex Smolensky for bumping him out the lead. I was trying to get past Rob Fagg and missed my brakes a little bit, and at that point, as soon as I hit the brakes, I realised I was going into him, so tried to avoid causing any damage, which luckily that bit went right.
You won here in Season 5 and in Season 6, the last 2 times we were here. How highly is Spa in your favourite circuits?
It was definitely a classic. It's up there, but I always struggle to keep the tyres cool, and it's always fighting the tyres towards the end of the race, which wasn't helped this time because it was about 25% longer than usual.
Hi mate, it's good to have you in the commentary box. I've not had you back here for a while. How mental was it really when you see all these cars, 50 odd cars lining up?
It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I'm really surprised that we didn't have a single safety car all night. It was really good driving by everyone on the field to avoid it.
Spa's quite a wide track, isn't it? And so I guess you have to go some to get a safety car. But just segueing towards next week and Zolder. Similar track in terms of corners in general, but much tighter, much shorter, and with definitely potential for things like track blockages and the walls on the start line, especially funnel accidents into each other.
Yeah, that one will be interesting, I think, especially the chicanes, because you get so slow that second gear is just a little bit too high for the Kia, and first gear is a bit too low, and you'll end up wheel spinning. So it's about trying to get that bit right.
Yeah, traction was an issue here for some drivers as well. How did you find the tyre wear throughout the meeting tonight?
It was difficult. I think about 3 or 4 laps in, the tyres just felt like they were finished, and then you had to do another 6 laps on them. So yeah.
Alex, who got anything for Jamie?
Yeah, no, really just wanted to say, well done, good race meeting all round, good for the team as well. Guys, obviously, just on the outside looking in at the moment, what have you got to do for the rest of the season to get yourself into that 3rd spot? I mean, it's pretty close still.
Yeah, we've been closing in over the last month or so, and it's just because we've been making a special effort to not crash and actually get all 4 cars to the finish, which I think we managed to do pretty well again tonight and got some good results, so hopefully closing in even more to try and get in the showdown.
I'm guessing Kip didn't get that memo on the final lap going up Eau Rouge, no?
Apparently not.
Got to have a little dig every now and again.
That's it. We can't. We said, Jamie, that it's a wonder this series is so crazy, but then you look at see who's running it, and it was those 2.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it says it all, really, doesn't it?
It does.
All right, mate. Thanks for joining us here in the commentary box, and we will catch you next week.
Cheers, guys.
Jamie Rushworth there, an absolute legend, a veteran of the series.
We're also going to have a little chat with Ray over on our TeamSpeak server as well once we're finished. We will do 3 interviews, but who were we going to get in next?
Chaz.
It was Chaz, wasn't it? Yeah.
I warned him about it. I did threaten him with it earlier on, so here he is now. Chaz Draycott, welcome to the commentary box, my friend.
Hi guys, how's it going?
Going brilliantly. We had a fantastic meeting tonight. It looked like you had fun on your first outing for Leo Bodnar.
Yeah, it was good fun really. I was quite happy with how I finished. I think it was 35th in the first race, then I got to 23rd in the second. I just missed out on the reverse grid, which I was quite gutted about. We had a bit of a laugh about that at Leo Bodnar because me and Mark Johnston were both we were both next to each other, so we were hoping for a front row lockout, but sadly it didn't happen. And then I got 15th in the last race, so all round pretty well.
Take us through being in the middle of that gigantic pack, because we mentioned it all night. It's quite ridiculous calling battles for 42nd and 43rd place on the track, but what's it like to be in the middle of all that?
It's quite scary, unsurprisingly. It's quite odd, really, because you find yourself sort of, say, 30th or 20th, and you think, right, so there's this many cars in front of me, and then you look in your mirror, and there's just this massive snake of cars, and no matter where you look, people following you and everywhere.
We mention often that it's very difficult in this series to overtake, because you move offline to try and make a move. You need to make that move stick, because you'll lose another place. Did that happen to you any times tonight?
Yeah, I was battling with Zuzov in the last race, and every time I tried to make a move, I was conscious of Laura behind me, and it was just a case of I'm just going to stick with him, follow his line, and if he makes a mistake, I'll just pick up on that. And unfortunately, didn't in the end. But I think Laura got a slow down at 1.30 Rouge, so I just had the gap behind me, so I could back off a little bit.
Well done, Chaz. Alex here. We were just talking sort of during the race as well about the Sunday night sort of club series as well, that you're helping to organise that. Just for viewers that might be watching the post-race interviews right now, perhaps you can just give us a couple of words just about that, because obviously that is open for everyone to join, and we might have picked up a fan or two that might want to partake.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was made just for fun, really. We were going to originally do it as like a feeder series for obviously this series, but we basically got to the conclusion that there's never going to be a guarantee that people could get into it if they wanted to, and there were people in the club series that were only there because they couldn't make nights like tonight. But yeah, it's just set up for fun. It's a really good laugh. There's a great bunch of guys there. We all join in on chat as well while we're racing and have a good time. It's still a bit serious in terms of racing. Obviously, it's very competitive, but at the same time, it's just a good Sunday night league that, like I say, we have a really good laugh. And I mean, I love running it. I mean, obviously, being in this now, I don't run in that series, but it's still good fun to watch and even organise. So, yeah, I mean, we've got a Facebook page, we've got an iRacing League page, so anyone's welcome to join. They just need to hit me a message on Facebook or something, and we'll sort something out for them. But it's all good.
And what's the format of the racing? Obviously, it is Sunday. What sort of time does does practice and the race start?
The sessions start at 8:30 on it's 8:30 UK time on Sunday nights. The races tend to start about sort of 9:30. Sorry, not 9:30. It starts at about 9. The first one will finish about 9:30, and then we'll do another one just before 10. It's just 2 races in an evening.
I raced in the series this week, and it was really, really enjoyable. Some really good, clean driving, and I guess that's you want the spirit of the club series to be. It's that fast, fair, and fun competition, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, sometimes as we all know, racing can get a bit overly serious, and people can cause arguments and things. And I mean, that happens. It's racing, isn't it? But I mean, I'm pretty sure you're avoiding the fact that you won a race because you don't really want to brag about it, do you?
Not really, but now that you've said it, I might as well. Laguna Seca, it was very, very good. Very, very good meeting, and it was fun. It was fun to actually get in the gear and actually win a race.
Yeah, well,
it's been a long time.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, there's always good clean racing with everyone. I mean, like you said, there's a few guys out there that are just brilliant, they're dead courteous, and they're always a good laugh to speak to in chat as well. And like I keep saying, that's what it's set up for. It's there for fun.
So hopefully we can get some more members in. Adam, you got anything for Chaz?
Sorry, I was just... What position did Chaz finish? Chaz finished 15th position. Next week, Zolder. Different challenge to Spa-Francorchamps. Do you see yourself getting back inside the top 20, perhaps a reverse grid pole?
I hope so. I mean, well, Andrew knows. I was speaking to him earlier today. Yesterday was actually the first time I'd ever driven Spa and iRacing. So, I mean, to be 15th, I'm quite happy with. So, I've not driven Zolder before either, so we'll have to see how that goes. I'm not sure whether it'll go as well, but I'll try my best, and obviously I'm in it to get points for Leo Bodner.
Yeah, definitely get a good week of practice in on Zolder, because it might not seem like such a difficult track when you first look at it, but it's definitely one that can sneak up on you. I mean, Alex, you've raced it in the World Championship. It's not an easy one, is it?
No, it's not. Fortunately, I haven't raced in the World Championship.
Oh, have you not?
actually.
They
No,
didn't
it's
do
one.
that, did they? They cancelled
yeah,
that.
I haven't. They have been there, but not fortunately. Not I've not been in the car when it's been there. But I've raced it in the Grand Prix car and in the Formula One FW31. And I tell you what, that is crazy difficult there. I think the Kia will be a little bit more fun because it'll be able to soak up some of those huge curbs that are there. But yeah, it's gonna be tight, very very frantic, and going into that first chicane, I think that's where all the overtaking is going to happen. That's going to be interesting to say the least. Right, thanks Chaz. Congratulations tonight on your result. Good luck organising the club series on Sunday, and we wish you the best of luck, Zolder.
Thanks very much, guys. It's lovely to speak to you. See you next week.
Right, if you can just give us a moment, guys, we're just going to quickly jump over to our TeamSpeak server where we've got Rail Fowler waiting to have a quick chat with us. So, guys, if you want to head your way over there.
Yeah.
Waiting for Andrew to join us over here, and then we'll grab Ray in a second. The joys of having multiple servers to to chat on, and this will be why we sound different all of a sudden as well. Hopefully he's coming in. So I probably just got a text. I think he might have a problem. So
I was going to say that Zolder is going to be I think it's a brand new entry to the championship. I don't think we've raced there in absolute ages. If we're going to wait for Andrew, I'll just quickly scroll through the stats and see the last time we were there.
Well, actually, he's just said to me that he can't get on, so we'll grab Ray up and have a quick chat with him.
Okay, let's get him.
Rail Fowler, welcome to Apex Racing TV commentary box. Sorry about that little wait. We just had to get ourselves all set up on this server to do it and make sure all the audio is working. But I think we're here and everything's okay.
Oh, no problem. What's up?
Good race for you out there on that last one. Looked like you were in the wars for the first race there, and but pretty anonymous race in the final one. But 18th, you must be happy.
Yeah. That first race was pretty disastrous. We went through the left-hander, and I didn't want to run into the back of the field. It looked like they were all slowing down for the chicane, so I hit the brakes, unfortunately, and in the middle of the turn. That didn't turn out too well, so that was pretty bad. But and then the second race got up to about 24th or so and got together into to the right-hander. I forget which turn that is, but I probably didn't give enough room there. I'm not sure. And the last race had a lot of action. I mean, every race has a lot of action everywhere in the field. So it feels good to improve on each of the finishes in every race.
Yeah. Just seeing an epic overtake that you did there going into the bus stop. Not quite sure what lap this was. It's on the replay of it, but one of the Laser Tools cars got a little nerf. Is that what we class as a bump and run in NASCAR? Is it?
Oh, there was a lot of NASCAR happening everywhere in this race.
Well, you're used to racing with 43 cars on a weekly basis in the NASCAR Peak Anti-Freeze series, racing with 53 Kia Optimas. Is that too much? Is it too much difference to racing in NASCAR?
I mean, it's different in the sense that it's it's a road course, and the cars don't being front wheel drive. They don't drive anything at all like the stock cars. But it's just fun being able to beat and bang with people, and me having a higher ping probably is a little bit of a disadvantage sometimes, but sometimes it can help me get through a wreck, So it's something new. Racing with so many cars and being in the middle of the pack, it's just it's pretty insane. It's a lot of fun.
Many a times we saw on this race drivers trying to make their way past, obviously where they're in a pack, and just like what we see on the Peak series as well. You commit to try and make a move, doesn't happen, and you get yourself freight train back 3 or 4 places, and that's how close this series is, and very much matches what you have to race in every couple of weeks as well.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm learning a lot in it with racecraft, and I'll make some moves, and I'm like, oh, I don't know why I just did that. It cost me a few spots or cost me some time. But then people will start pulling away from you, and then they'll start racing, and then you catch them back up. It reminds me of Mario Kart in a way, because the race is pretty short, and there's so much stuff happening that you can be 40th one lap, and then 25th the next lap, and then you're 37th the next lap after that, and you have no idea what happened.
And obviously you had a bit of road action. It was a couple of weeks now at Watkins. How'd you get on there? Just to talk about away from the BSR for a moment.
Yeah, well, we have the Wendell Scott Foundation over there. They were also on the car for this race, as well as Slip Angle Motorsports. And we were running 5th, I believe, and came out of pit road and had a little incident with the guardrail there. So we ended up 6th. So it was a pretty decent race, and I was running up front, so it wasn't as hectic as this racing is. And it's crazy how similar yet different it can be in the way the cars drive. So it's just it's only my second event, I guess you could say, in this series, and it's just a lot of fun. Thanks a lot to everyone that puts these races together, and you guys for the broadcast. I'm sure it'll be a blast to watch it later.
Well, I wasn't sure if we would see you again after the first race, but you've obviously enjoyed it enough to come back and have the torture of a 55 car grid at Spa. So when's the next one going to be?
Well, we want to make as many races as possible. Unfortunately, we missed the race last week, I believe. The first race on TV, so that was a bummer. And but we want to race all the races if we can. And Lisa, Lisa really enjoys the road racing, and it's fun to put on a show for her and everybody else that's watching, that's rooting for us. So, next race I believe is Zolder next week, so we plan to be there if we can.
Well, just bring your teammate in as well, as he's joined us in there. Hi, Brian. How you doing, mate?
Doing great. Just had a really great time today.
I think your second race was probably your standout race this evening. Why don't you just sort of tell us a little bit about that one?
Well, I think my second race, I started like 48th, and by the end of it, I was trying to battle for a top 30. Almost got it. I think I got 31st. So that was a huge improvement over my starting position. That was great. The third race though, I finished 25th. I almost crashed a couple times, and had one incident left. I had 13 incidents the last few laps, so I had to back it down and take it a little easy and make sure guys didn't run into me. So I finished 25th that race, which was my best result. I did better each race. I didn't really know the Spa layout very well, and I know you guys are probably ashamed of me for that. But I was figuring it out, and you got to give me a break. I'm a NASCAR guy, so I was figuring it out by the end.
I was hovering over the kick button, but you're okay. No, I mean, Spa's not an easy track to tame, and actually, you were saying about your 1 point off with the incidents and things like that as well. And the off tracks are really, really close to the edge of the circuit here as well. So you did well. I mean, to avoid it. There's a lot of drivers out there tonight that got themselves disqualified as well. So I bet that come as quite a nasty surprise when you just dip a wheel on just over the curb, and there's a 1x for you.
Oh yeah, I've watched a lot of the World Championship races at Spa, and I know that it can be pretty crazy. You can just drop one wheel, or I don't know why it's an off track if you hit those green things, but it definitely is. And I learned that plenty in practice, and was able to adapt myself to not do that in the race pretty well. I'm ready for next year already. I think I'm gonna challenge for a top 20 next year for sure. Well,
we're planning on going bigger and better for next year. I mean, it's been pretty breakthrough this season with obviously the $10,000 prize pool, but yeah, I know there's a lot of talks behind the scenes to try and improve on that as well. So yeah, it'd be great to see you guys try and compete in there.
Possibly even on the oval races, if there is any more this season.
Do you have any more oval races?
No, I
this
don't
season?
think we have any more oval races. We went to Twin Ring Motegi and Pocono earlier in the season. Kia Optima heading around the ovals, probably different handling to a NASCAR altogether.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun, and I really can't wait to do more of these. I really just have to thank Lisa Pineda and Slip Angle Motorsports, the Wendell Scott Foundation, and everybody who supports us and lets us do this when we can. Hopefully, we'll be around for a long time to come in this series.
And where are you guys at on Tuesday?
We are at Phoenix, so that's going to be a pretty crazy race. It's a shorter track. It's just about a mile in length, so expect some beating and banging there, just like we had some tonight in this race.
I was about to say, Ray was getting into some practice early, I think. Awesome. Well, yeah. Thanks very much, guys. We're a little over 3 hours on this broadcast now, so it's been a long one for us tonight, but it's been a lot of pleasure. Thanks again for joining us. You've already sort of given a little shout out, but was there anybody that you missed that you want to do that before we let you go?
I'm trying to think.
So I mean, I just got to thank everybody on Brian Blackford Racing. I got like a development team coming up through the ranks, and I want to get those guys into these races too. They're not. They're more into the NASCAR side too, but I'm pretty sure that they would appreciate a shout out. All those guys have put in really hard work to launch a new website, brianblackfordracing.com, and I believe that's it for me.
Ray,
I'll give a shout out to the Simpson X racing team in this series. Who I've heard they're doing quite well. So I'll have to watch the broadcast and see how they ended up. But yeah, I can't wait to watch it. Should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they're third place overall, in with a shout of the $4,000 team prize pool there. So who knows? Well, thanks very much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and look forward to seeing you when you're back in the car.
Thanks for having us.
Great, thank you. See you soon.
Cheers, guys.
Well, Alex, 3 fantastic races. The third race probably going into the BSR TC archive as one of the best we've seen ever.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be tough to pick out just 40 minutes of highlights from tonight's racing. I think Lee's got a tough job on his hand. Yeah, it's great racing tonight, and huge pack out there, loads of fun. I look forward to when we do that again. Much smaller grid at Zolder. Turning face as well. Some of the regulars weren't here this week as well, but most were. So yeah, it's going to be completely contrasting race. I think overtaking going to be very, very difficult once again. As I touched on, really going into that pain, I think it's probably going to be the best opportunity. Turn 1 as well, but yeah, it's going to be worth tuning into. We've lost Andrew, unfortunately. Didn't make it over to TeamSpeak. Got booted off the server for some strange reason. So we'll wrap the show up. But just wanted to give a big shout out for everybody who's tuned in tonight and watched, and everybody who organises the league, sorts everything out on Motors TV. All comes together and makes a really successful series. So yeah, next week, of course, same time on the Apex Racing TV channel for Zolder. But next Tuesday on Motors TV, same time as last week, I think.
20 past 5.
Yeah, 5:20. So, and that will be the Mid Ohio race as well. So, I've just watched back the show. Looks really, really good. Some good hard racing, and the guys have done a great job on then. So look forward to that. Yeah, there's got a bit of feedback as well after the first show. We've taken all that on board, and we know we've got to fix a few things with the overlay. Saw some of that today, but please keep the feedback coming as well. Every episode is a learning curve for us. It's first time producing anything for TV, as you could see. struggling a little bit with the requirements that we're only allowed to present them at 25 frames per second video. So anyone knows of any tips for how we can try and smooth that out, because the broadcasts look absolutely fine that we do, but when we convert it to 25 we're really struggling. So yeah, if guys can help us out with that, it will be much appreciated. But yeah, Adam, thanks again for everything tonight. Andrew, he's off listening, I'm sure. We're going to wrap this broadcast up. Thank you, everybody. Great race from Spa tonight, and we'll be back in a week's time for round number 61. There we go. Almost got it wrong. Thanks again.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.